feel right at home.
Hackman also won an Oscar for his work in Unforgiven. He retired from acting, though, more than 2 decades ago. Later became a successful novelist. Foul play not suspected in his death, though. Hackman was 95 years old. It is 58 degrees in Midtown Atlanta. WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards says see plenty of cloud cover, slightly cooler temperatures today, but we will still get into the upper 60s. Some of us could dip into the 30s tonight. Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast is coming up. A big announcement coming this afternoon from the Atlanta airport. Frontier Airlines will announce expansion plans at Hartsfield-Jackson. Low-cost airline is expected to increase its presence by 40% here in Atlanta. The expansion will also include increased staffing. Frontier already serves more than 40 destinations from Orlando and New York to Puerto Rico and Mexico, and more will be added as part of this expansion. Watching the action of the Gold Dome today, among the measures being considered, a bill seeking stiffer penalties for traffickers of fentanyl.
The legislation increases the prison time and fines for people who traffic the powerful opioid depending on the amount they are found with. Sentences can range between 10 to 35 years and fines between $75,000 and $750,000. Bill sponsor Senator Russ Goodman says these changes are necessary.
We're trying to have our laws and our penalties be more reflective of just how deadly fentanyl is.
3 Democrats voted against the measure, expressing concerns that the law would criminalize addiction. It now goes to the House. From the state capitol, Jonathan O'Brien, 95.5 WSB.
Meanwhile, the state House approves a bill that would allow for the construction of vertiports, or landing areas for air taxis. It would also direct the DOT to oversee the process. The bill's Republican sponsor says we could see those taxis flying around Georgia as early as next year. A company in Covington, among the country's leaders in building air taxis, measure now heads to the state Senate. Watching today's meeting at the White House between President Trump and British Prime Minister Keir Starmer, set to start just after noon today with the war in Ukraine top of mind.
Starmer will try to persuade Trump to maintain support for Ukraine, even as the president has seemingly backed Russia, which invaded Ukraine.
Correspondent Linda Kenyon says it follows a similar meeting this week between Trump and French President Macron as they focus on the future threats from Russia. And it comes a day ahead of the expected arrival of Ukrainian President Zelensky to the White House. He's expected to sign a deal with the U.S. that would include access to Ukraine's rare earth minerals. Not yet known, though, what the deal will mean for continued U.S. support with the war against Russia or future post-war support for Ukraine. The number of mortgage loans taken out for home sales continues to fall in many metro areas.
With the second biggest drop in the nation in Augusta, just behind St. Louis, according to real estate data company Adam. Lending in Augusta for residential purchases fell 31% last quarter compared to the previous quarter, amid a tight market, even in the usually slow real estate season.
Bloomberg's Denise Pellegrini says Atlanta has seen its own decline. Borrowing for home purchases in the city is down almost 28% for the metro area. It's 9:03. Mark Arum Show begins in less than 2 minutes. But first, live team coverage of traffic and weather. And we start with the roads, triple team traffic. And here is Smiling Mark McKay.
Thanks, Judd. The struggles on I-20 through DeKalb County will start to improve now that a Hero unit pulled a broken down work truck into the work zone, out of the travel lanes, the center travel lane. All lanes back open. I-20 westbound past Panola Road, exit 71. Pretty thick back at DeMall, Stonecrest, Turner Hill, Evans Mill Road. Coming out of the northern suburbs, we still see brake lights 85 southbound at Highway 316 down into Norcross and inside the perimeter below Claremont Road. Still have that slow 400 ride leaving Alpharetta. Starting to improve, though. Still heavy, though, from Haynesbridge Road down to Holcomb Bridge and the Chattahoochee River. Now suddenly a travel advisory for those rolling out of Woodstock. Ashley Frasca.
Getting slow fast. They have set up road work in the right lane on 575 southbound before Bell's Ferry, so you are heavier on the brakes now than you were coming down from Ridgewalk Parkway, exit 9. 75 south overall, not bad. A little crowded, especially in those right lanes below Windy Hill. Triple team traffic, 95.5 WSB.
I'm WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. Mostly cloudy but dry today as a cold front moves through. Daytime high 68. Wind gusts as high as 25 miles per hour. Clear and cool for tonight. Lows in the upper 30s, low 40s. Tomorrow, sunshine, high 65.
59 degrees right now in Union City, 58 in Lawrenceville, 58 degrees in Midtown Atlanta at 9:05. More news at 9:30. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Judd Hickenbotham, 95.5 WSB.
Welcome, friends. Shape it up to be another beautiful Friday. Certainly a busy Friday here on the Mark Arum Show. 1 hour from now, we're live to Jerusalem. Get the latest on the End of the first ceasefire deal between Israel and Hamas. 10:35. Travel expert Peter Greenberg joins us live. Going to talk about the rash of plane incidents, updating Russia-Ukraine. Peter Haralambous, reporter from ABC, going to outline the Trump administration's plan to fight the high cost of eggs. UK Prime Minister, by the way, coming to the White House, and Zelensky coming to the White House tomorrow. The news just does not stop. I want to start, though, with the absolutely sad news this morning, the passing of an absolute legend.
Please. I'm sorry. Can I help you?
Actually, I think I'm here to help you. I'm Everett Tolar, your designated mentor.
All right, Popeye's here. Get your hands on your heads. Get off the bar and get on the wall. Come on, move. Move. Come on, sweetheart, move. Come on, wait.
Don't leave me here. I don't want to be the only girl not dancing.
I don't care what the scoreboard says at the end of the game. In my book, we're going to be winners. Okay?
Gene Hackman, 95 years old. Tragic story on his passing that developed overnight. I'm going to make a bold statement here. The greatest American actor that any of us have ever witnessed. If you are alive and listening to the show, Gene Hackman is the greatest American actor of all time. Let's get more on his passings from ABC's Jim Ryan.
Gene Hackman and his wife, classical pianist Betsy Arakawa, moved to Santa Fe, New Mexico in 1991 and were often seen at the city's cultural events. Early this morning, Santa Fe County Sheriff Adan Mendoza confirmed that the 95-year-old Hackman, his 64-year-old wife, and their dog were all found dead in their home. Despite that, Mendoza says no foul play is suspected.
You brought him on my boat. Our man is down behind enemy lines.
In an acting career that spanned 4 decades, Gene Hackman won a trophy case filled with awards, including 2 Oscars. Jim Ryan, ABC News.
All right, so, he was 95, an amazing life. He retired from acting all the way back in 2004. But the details of his death, he died, his wife died, and his dog died. Deborah Green, I'm assuming maybe carbon monoxide, something like that. What's your initial read?
That's the first thing that I thought of, because how would they say no foul play, but all 3, 2 people and a pet? That it was so strange. That was the first thing I thought of, is carbon monoxide.
Yeah, get those carbon monoxide detectors. Again, that's just our guess right now. He had retired, was living in Santa Fe, and over the last couple of years, we had seen like tabloid pictures of Hackman going to the store, and he looked 95 years old. He was still out and about doing things, but sad that he lost his wife and his dog as well. No foul play, say the authorities. He gave an interview it was like a decade ago, saying that he didn't want to leave his wife alone, because he was so much older than his wife, and he was worried that, once he passed, she'd be alone. So I don't know if it's tragic or romantic that they died together. But Gene Hackman, I know it's a bold statement that I said he is the greatest American actor and maybe the greatest actor of all time. I haven't seen enough foreign films, to be honest, to say he's the greatest actor ever. But as far as American actors, and I recognize this because if you go down the list of my favorite films, Unforgiven, Get Shorty, Royal Tenenbaums, Hoosiers, No Way Out, The Firm, Runaway Jury, Superman. He was in all of my favorite movies. He was the constant. He was the thread in all of my favorite movies. And he was so good, he could play any character and you'd believe it. He was older when he did Unforgiven. I think Unforgiven, the amazing Clint Eastwood film, came out in 91. And he was the badass sheriff. And even at that age, he pulled it off. When he was busting heads in the saloon and being a just general bad blank, you believed it. He played a president. You believed it. You're like, oh, Gene Hackman is president. Yeah, I could see that. Absolutely. In the Royal Tenenbaums, the quirky patriarch of a quirky family, nailed it. You're like, oh, wow, he was so good. In The Firm, sleazy lawyer. You're like, oh yeah, Gene Hackman is a sleazy lawyer. I could see that. As Lex Luthor in Superman. Like, could anyone else play Lex Luthor? He was so good in everything he did. greatest American actor. Now, I've interviewed Kevin Costner. I never met Gene Hackman, never got to interview him, unfortunately. Never even made an attempt. He retired from acting in 2004 and really kind of went off the radar. But in one of the interviews I did with Kevin Costner, I asked him what it was like working with Gene Hackman. This is what he had to say. This is back 2007-ish, Deborah, I think. 2007, 2018. Not that far along. Okay, 2018. Mm-hmm. This is what Kevin Costner told me about working with the legend Gene Hackman. Speaking of great actors, so the other night I was at home and No Way Out came on, and I have to watch that movie every time it's on. It's one of my favorites. Gene Hackman in that movie. I mean, I absolutely adore Gene Hackman. I mean, that was fairly early in your career. What was it like working with Gene Hackman in that movie?
Well, I get asked a lot about things, to make a list or whatever. Who's your favorite actor? Who's the best actor? Who's the whatever? And that's hard because, when you work with so many people, if you start with somebody and you leave somebody out. But I have said to people, listen, the biggest star I ever worked with was Sean Connery. And I think the best actor I ever worked with, I said, was Gene Hackman. And I've said that for a long time. And he was just that good. He was so immediate. He was so available, and we had some good talks about a few things, and I miss him.
Yeah, that's high praise coming from you. I can't. I mean, I love everything he's ever done, and he's so versatile. Again, you were pretty young when No Way Out was made. Did you take anything from that experience with working with Hackman?
Yeah, I had one truly amazing experience. The show's not long enough for it, so I'm not trying to tease you. but if I could be considered in that, in that sentence with him, that would always make me feel great. But that's how I feel about him.
All right, so Kevin mentioned that story that he didn't have enough time to tell. He eventually told that on the Rich Eisen show. I'm going to play that for you. This hurts. It hurts me. I mean, 95, an amazing life, but it hurts because he was so good. The greatest American actor any of us have ever seen. I will plant my flag on that. And yeah, we lost a legend. So we'll hear more from Costner on working with Hackman and a great story. And then we're going to update our big local stories, get an update on the searching for the missing Lake Oconee County boater. Social medias will be active. We're going to be all over Doge, etc. today at Mark Arum, MarkArum, and at WSB Radio.
Hey, WSB is looking for a home for goldfish. Chris Chandler here from Atlanta's Morning News. He is our dog of the month. With Paws Atlanta, we're looking for Goldfish's new family. He's about 3, loved a good belly rub when we met him here, cuddling and curious. Meet him at WSBRadio.com/dog. Our sponsor, Finley Roofing, pays the adoption fee. WSBRadio.com/dog.
Hey, it's Scott Slade from My Roofer, FGA Roofing. Is your roof starting to show its age? It's nothing to be embarrassed about. It happens. Taking on all that nature can throw at it year after year. Well, the good news is you're not stuck with a worn, outdated look on your home. If your home's exterior could use an upgrade, or maybe one of your neighbor's designer roofs has caught your eye, now is the perfect time to check out FGA Roofing for the latest in architectural shingles, timberline shingles, much more. Slate, tile, wood shake, and of course asphalt shingles. FGA has them all. A new designer roof can be an instant eye-appeal update for your home that'll last for many years, and your timing is terrific. FGA Roofing can be at your home the next day for a no-obligation quote and get your job finished in 2 weeks in most cases. FGA Roofing offers 0% financing for 12 months with your good credit. And for a limited time, get $1,000 off your final quote if you mention you heard about FGA Roofing from Scott Slade. Just search FGA Roofing. That's FGA Roofing.
Got a leaky pipe? Trouble with your heat? Ace Hardware Home Services is right around the corner with trusted pros to fix it. From plumbing to heating and cooling, we'll keep your home running smoothly all year long. Get help today at acehardwarehomeservices.com.
Men, trouble in the bedroom? Not anymore. Priority Men's Medical Center restores your love life in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE. Here's a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Simovitz. Have Viagra or Cialis let you down? Priority Men's Medical Center offers the most effective treatments that eliminate ED and PE, with men lasting longer than ever. 98% of patients see instant results on their first visit.
Priority Men's Medical Center's breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. Your consultation and first treatment are free. You'll see instant results in the office. Plus, qualified patients get their testosterone checked free. Call 404-885-8885. 404-885-8885. To restore your love life in just one visit, call now. 404-885-8885.
I'm here with Chris Hoffman, the founder of Hoffman Financial Group and host of Money Unleashed. Chris, with all the things we're reading, seeing, and living through these days, from rate cuts, election season, and now a new administration, now seems like a great time to make sure we have that comprehensive plan in place. You know, the one that covers all our financial bases.
There are occasions throughout the year where I feel like it's critical for people to engage their financial lives and get the information that they deserve from a financial advisory team. And this is one of those times, to be quite frank. So we ask that you call us if you have a minimum of $500,000 in your full portfolio. But we're going to do away with that minimum so that those folks can have an equal opportunity to understand what's in their portfolio as well. Now, you have to have some money, right? I can't help you to build your wealth at work, right? But I sure can help, I believe, with your 401k, IRA management. There's probably 2 or 3 things that'll surprise you that you may want to take action on. So the next 10 people that call in will work up either a portfolio x-ray, or if you feel like you need a full retirement plan, go to unleashyourmoney.com, click on portfolio x-ray, or click on full retirement plan. We think you'll be impressed enough, and we want you to become a client. There's no question about it. We believe that we are a very competent fiduciary advisory team, and we want to offer that to our listeners. Let Hoffman Financial Group actually show you how we perform, and I believe we perform at the pinnacle of this industry.
Call the Hoffman Financial Group at 404-737-3858, 404-737-3858, or online at unleashyourmoney.com. Investment advisory services offered through Brookstone Wealth Advisors, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Hoffman Financial Group Incorporated, Georgia Insurance License number 163546.
Start your spring cleaning early. Get an insanely clean home with Zero-Res carpet and air duct cleaning. For this month only, mention me, Chris Chandler, and you'll get 3 rooms of carpet clean for $129 plus a free staircase. Book online at ZeroResAtlanta.com.
9:18 on the Mark Arum Show. Following construction delays, I believe, on I-575. Live with the latest, Mike Shields.
That's right, Mark. They just set up road work, and that's having a big impact quickly in Woodstock. 575 southbound, south of Highway 92, exit 7, where the right lane is blocked. That means only the left lane is open. And already stacked and packed all the way back to Ridgewall Parkway, exit 9. The express lanes are southbound if you have a Peach Pass, or you can use Highway 5, Bells Ferry Road as alternates. So support is brought to you by Rapid Radios. Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage for a limited time. Go to rapidradios.com now for 60% off and free UPS shipping. Add code RADIO, get an extra 5%. I'm Mike Shields, 95.5 WSB.
And taking a lot of flack and getting a lot of death threats, by the way. I mean, I like to stack them up, you know. But if we don't do this, America will go bankrupt.
Elon Musk yesterday addressing President Trump's cabinet. It was a pretty wild scene. It was about an hour-long press conference before the cabinet meeting even started. A lot of big headlines came out of that press conference. We'll recap it all for you. Speaking of President Trump, the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom set to meet with President Trump today at the White House. We will bring that to you live here on WSB Radio. I assume, as we've seen with every other head of state that comes to the White House, that they'll do a press briefing after their meeting. And usually we get some really, really good stuff there. And I guess this is just the preamble to the huge meeting that we expect tomorrow. Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky going to meet with Trump tomorrow. So really, really rapid pace going on at the White House. UK Prime Minister today, the president of Ukraine tomorrow, meeting with President Trump. Speaking of President Trump, his administration's laid out an egg plan on how to combat the shortage of eggs and the high egg prices. Peter Haralambous from ABC is going to join us in a little bit and talk about that. But I want to continue to talk about our losing the greatest American actor of perhaps all time.
All right, gentlemen. He's got one barrel left. When he fires that, take out your pistols and shoot him down like the mangy scoundrel he is.
Ugh. Is there a better movie than Unforgiven?
Misfire.
Is there better? Vinny, you're young. Tell me you've seen Unforgiven, the Western with Gene Hackman, Clint Eastwood, Morgan Freeman. No?
No.
All right, this weekend, homework. Nyoki, you're not, or I don't know. I don't even know how old you guys are. You all could be my grandkids. Have you seen Unforgiven with Gene Hackman? You guys haven't?
I have not.
Oh, my goodness. I'm not judging. I blame your parents.
Oh my gosh.
I just right, Deborah? All right, so
yes, you guys, it's such an amazing movie.
It might be the best movie of all time. Hackman won an award for it. Clint Eastwood directed it and acted it. Morgan Freeman. I mean, all right, I'm gonna email Nyoki and Vinny Bag of Donuts. I'm giving you homework for the weekend. I'm gonna have you watch 5 Gene Hackman films. That's how good he is. The greatest American actor. You at least know who his name was. Do you recognize any of these movies? I mean. He did retire like 3 years after you were born, so I guess.
Yeah, 2004. You said
Yeah.
I was in 2000. I don't know nothing.
Yeah,
Superman.
You did see Superman. All right, there you go, no. Get Shorty. Oh my God, he was so good. Anyway, all right, so I played that Kevin Costner interview from 2017. This must have happened right after we interviewed him, Deborah, because he was on the Rich Eisen show. Rich Eisen, fan of the show. His producers are fans of the show, so I know they have no problem with me doing this. But Rich Eisen, I think, heard my interview with Costner. He's like, oh, that's a good question, Aram. Let me ask Kevin Costner about the best actor he's ever worked with.
Being on the set with Gene Hackman.
Well, Gene, people ask all the time, who's the best actor, who's the biggest star, who's the blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
The line's long for the great actors I've been able to work with, really is. But I would say probably Gene was the best actor that I'd ever worked with. I think Sean Connery was the biggest star I'd ever worked with.
And that's The Untouchables.
Yeah, and I had this is too long of a story, but I had one with Gene. When this scene came up, we had been doing every scene to that point around a desk, just like this. Sure. Every scene. I said to the director, I said, look, I don't feel like it's right. Gene Hackman standing there listening. I feel like it's over here. And it was like, no one was saying anything. The director and I really butted heads on it. Finally, for whatever reason, and Gene's just like listening. And finally, for whatever reason, I said, I don't care, it's here. And I hated to do that, but I just said, it's here. And I don't need all of our scenes here. It's here.
Sure.
So we did it. And at one point they were saying, well, what's Gene going to do? And I said, Gene will figure out what to do. Because he's really good. Gene will figure out what to do. Yeah. So I do the scene, and we do it all day, and it's the scene now that's in the movie. And I remember as I was walking out to my car on MGM lot, Gene was getting in, and he goes, hey, I want to talk to you. And I walked over, and he goes, look, man, if you ever do that in front of me again, I'm just going to, the way you disrespect, I'm just going to tell you, that's not what he said.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I thought he was going to say.
What did he say?
He looked at me and he said, hey, I went through a divorce. I've been doing a lot of kind of questionable movies lately. And when I saw you fighting for what you wanted today, he said it reminded me of how I used to feel about acting. He says, it was good what you did. And then he just got in his car and drove off.
Damn.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I want to spend the next 3 hours on Gene Hackman, but no, I can't. But I've posted it. If you want to comment on my Facebook page, Mark Aram WSB, what you remember most about Gene Hackman. I mean, he's been in all of my favorite movies. That's the one constant. Gene Hackman's been in all of my favorite movies. Quite remarkable. Quite remarkable. Anyway, Nyoki's pulling some more clips of Gene Hackman movies. We'll play them throughout the day, but I just wanted to get that not get it out of the way, but talk about it. Let's update the possibility. So I mentioned that President Vladimir Zelensky's meeting with President Trump tomorrow at the White House. Kevin Liptak at the White House this morning for CNN on that possible rare earth minerals deal.
Yeah, you're really seeing a whole parade of European leaders come here to the White House this week. Today, it is Keir Starmer's turn at bat, and what he's really trying to do is argue to President Trump that Ukraine needs a place at the table in these peace negotiations, and also that Europe is ready to help guarantee security in Ukraine once this war ends, but it will need some backing from the United States. It will need its military muscle. So that's a tall task for him in the Oval Office today. But I think the choreography and the sequencing of this week has been highly intentional. We saw on Monday the French president, Emmanuel Macron, try to use his personal relationship with Trump. He's a friendly face in a lot of ways, to talk to Trump about these issues, to push back in some ways without making Trump feel cornered. Starmer is a newer relationship for President Trump. It's gotten off to a good start, but he does want to get into more granular detail about what some of these security guarantees might look like, but also what Europe might need from the United States. You know, no one really believes that Europe alone will be able to prevent further Russian aggression. And so what he's looking for is essentially a backstop. And he talked to reporters on his plane flying here from London. He said his concern is that a ceasefire without a backstop will simply give Putin the opportunity to wait and come again, because his ambition in relation to Ukraine is pretty obvious, I think, for all to see. So a lot for these two men to talk about. And then, of course, we will see Volodymyr Zelensky here tomorrow to sign that minerals deal that had been the subject of so much contention, but also to make kind of an 11th hour case to President Trump before Trump sits down with Putin. Now, I think the question in all of these meetings is whether they're having any effect. I think so far, we'd be hard-pressed to find any change in Trump's position when it comes to the origins of this war, when it comes to Vladimir Putin's intentions. And even just yesterday, he really cast doubt on the extent of the American commitment going forward. Listen to what he said.
I'm not going to make security guarantees beyond very much. We're going to have Europe do that, because it's we're talking about Europe as their next door neighbor.
So there is still an enormous gulf here. One very important thing that Trump said yesterday in the cabinet room was acknowledging that Russia would have to make some concessions as part of this peace settlement. That's not something that he had said before. It's a small item, but when you talk to European officials, they do think it could be a step in the right direction.
Yeah, that was huge. That was my takeaway, that President Trump admitting yesterday before the cabinet meeting that, yeah, Russia is going to have to make concessions in this deal. Kevin Liptak at the White House this morning. Judd's got your news, weather, and traffic in 2 minutes. When we come back, how is President Trump and his administration going to combat the rising egg prices? Peter Haralambous from ABC News has the story next on The Mark Arum Show. Buckle up, friends. I've got a jaw-dropping deal from my pals at Reliable. Hey, it's Mark Arum here. Check this out, folks. You can get a free furnace with the purchase of a qualifying air conditioner. Unbelievable. Get your free consultation by going to ReliableAir.com. That's ReliableAir.com, and check it out. Next day installation guarantee, or they pay you $500. Free furnace with the purchase of a qualifying air conditioner. ReliableAir.com.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. One question I'm always asked is, how did you become the largest injury firm in the world with over 1,000 attorneys and $25 billion in verdicts and settlements? One way was our financial strength. Medical malpractice is the third leading cause of death in America. To prosecute a typical case costs up to $250,000 in case cost. We advance them all. Product liability cases can have similar costs with an army of lawyers on the other side. Automobile insurance companies have the resources to fight. Guess what? So do we. Many law firms simply may not have the financial firepower to work up your case the way you deserve. And we don't charge by the hour. No recovery, no fee. If you have a question about your case or wish to become a client, go to forthepeople.com on your mobile device or computer. 24/7. It's that easy. Morgan & Morgan. Injured? Dial pound law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Heavy rain and severe storms have impacted our area again. How did your roof hold up? Hi, it's Dave Baker, host of the Home Fix-It Show here. Water is your home's #1 enemy. I recommend you schedule a free roof analysis with my roofer, Findlay Roofing. The roof guys. Check your attic, ceilings, drywall, and chimney. Any dripping water, wet spots, or water streaks? If yes, think of Findlay first. Get peace of mind with no obligation and no charge. FindlayRoofing.com. Roof.
Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News,
weather,
traffic.
95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's News and Talk.
It's 9:30. I'm Judd Hickenbotham. Our top story this half hour, a Cobb County jury convicts a man responsible for setting a fire that kills the mother and grandmother of his girlfriend.
32-year-old Robert Colt Smith is found guilty of 2 counts of felony murder and first-degree arson for setting a fire that killed 52-year-old Andrea Nall and 74-year-old Michelle LaCroix. Smith also found guilty of aggravated battery and aggravated assault for brutally beating Nall's daughter prior to the fire. In a statement, District Attorney Sonia Allen calls this case a tragic reminder of how domestic violence can escalate to devastating consequences. Superior Court Judge Kelly Hill sentencing Smith to 2 life sentences plus 20 years. Graham Carroll, 95.5 WSB.
It is 59 degrees right now in Midtown Atlanta. WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards says we'll cool off a bit today. The high, though, will still get into the upper 60s under cloudy skies. Some of us dip back into the 30s tonight. Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast is coming up. Watching the investigation this morning in New Mexico following the death of 2-time Oscar-winning actor Gene Hackman, who was found dead along with his wife at their home in Santa Fe.
In a brief emailed statement, the Santa Fe Sheriff's Office says that foul play is not suspected. A dog also was found dead in the home. The couple has lived quietly in Santa Fe since 1991, except an incident in 2012 when Hackman slapped a homeless man who had insulted his wife.
Correspondent Jim Ryan says Hackman retired from acting more than 2 decades ago, but had become a successful novelist. Gene Hackman was 95 years old. The Trump administration's dropping lawsuits filed by the previous administration against several police and fire departments, including Cobb County, over hiring practices.
A Justice Department statement says the Biden administration unjustly targeted police and fire departments for using standard aptitude tests to screen candidates. Attorney General Pam Bondi says under her predecessor, the department used lawsuits to advance a DEI agenda.
A correspondent Stephen Portnoy says the DOJ alleged the departments discriminated against black or female candidates. Last month, a federal judge rejected a proposed settlement in Cobb County's case. A young child's recovering after getting a hold of drugs at a Cobb County daycare.
Police say the 20-month-old somehow ingested something with THC in it at Laugh and Learn Daycare in Kennesaw. Investigators traced the source of the THC to the pocket of 24-year-old daycare employee Zyrena Fusia. She was arrested on reckless conduct and child cruelty charges. Fusia has bonded out of jail. Steve Summers, 95.5 WSB.
And the U.S. Postal Service announces some moves. It says as it tries to cut costs, says the changes to its standards will lead to at least $36 billion in savings over the next decade. Postal workers will start using a 5-digit regional add-on code after a zip code to increase precision. Also be able to dispatch earlier and travel farther when delivering. They say the majority of the mail and packages they carry will remain unchanged, but some pieces will see faster or slower service depending on the location. It's 9:33 as we check your money, and a positive start on Wall Street. The Dow is up more than 100 points, NASDAQ up about 150 as the bell rings, and S&P is up about 0.5% at about 30 points right now. Now live team coverage of traffic and weather. Start of the WSB 24-hour traffic center, and Mike Shields.
Joe, the biggest delays right now are out of Woodstock getting into Kennesaw with right lane roadwork. That means only the left lane is open. 575 southbound right at Bells Ferry Road, exit 4. Already slow 5 miles back to Ridgewalk Parkway, exit 9. The express lanes are southbound still if you have a Peach Pass. Highway 5 is also an option for you, or Bells Ferry Road. Those are great alternates around that. And roadwork on the south side perimeter, 285 eastbound, the outer loop ramp by 75, exit 58. That has a right lane blocked on the ramp and slow as you leave Riverdale Road. I'm Mike Shields, 95.5 WSB.
This is WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. Cloudy skies today, breezy, high 68. Wind gusts as high as 25 miles per hour. Lows tonight in the upper 30s, low 40s. Tomorrow, sunshine, high 65. A touch warmer on Saturday with sunny skies. Morning low 47, afternoon high 70.
61 degrees in Kennesaw, 62 in Stonecrest, 59 degrees in Midtown Atlanta at 9:34. More news at 10. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Judd Hickenbotham, 95.5 WSB.
If it's happening on the streets of Atlanta.
U.S. Attorney for the Northern District of Georgia announces his resignation.
If it's happening on the roads leading to Atlanta.
Some brake lights out of Cobb County, I-20 eastbound.
We've got it covered.
The U.S. Surgeon General is warning about a link between alcohol and cancer.
Your 24/7 news source.
Covering the stories that impact you.
Tune in throughout the day to stay up to date.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's breaking news station.
The previous administration put us in a very bad position, but we've been able to make a deal.
President Trump yesterday before his cabinet meeting. What does the Trump administration have planned to combat high egg prices? We'll go in depth in 2 minutes on the Mark Arum Show.
Broken tent, magazines, old honey jars. Spring cleaning is a time to get organized. Kick your spring cleaning into gear and save when you choose Scana Energy as your natural gas provider. They have options for every family. Right now, you can even get up to $100 when you sign up. Call 877-GO-SCANA or visit scanaenergy.com/100 for details. Limited time offer. Terms and conditions apply.
Cancer upends your life. We're doing all we can to change that. At Winship Cancer Institute of Emory University, we're reimagining the care experience to ease the burden of cancer. With experts in your cancer and the research, trials, and treatments you can only get here. All so you can focus on what matters most, the best chance of living a full life. Winship Cancer Institute of Emory University. Cancer care designed around you and your life. EmoryHealthcare.org/Winship.
Passion. It's the difference between getting it done and being exceptional. For your home's exterior renovation, hire a company passionate about your project. Trust the Plus. Painting Plus.
Hi, I'm Charlie. My passion for high-quality remodeling began when I started my business at just 15. Now we have grown to the Plus family of businesses. If you hear the Plus, it's us.
If your home's exterior has it, the Plus can improve it. Painting Plus. Siding, gutters, windows, decks, porches, roofing, and more. Trust the Plus. PaintingPlus.com.
Mom and Dad seem different after a European-style holiday on MSC Cruises.
Carlos, Cloud, and Yvette.
The ship had restaurants, shops, and nightlife.
La Galleria.
And of course, American touches, like an aqua park and a sweets shop.
American je ne sais quoi.
Mom, you're from Wisconsin.
Wisconsin, Kevin.
Book now and save up to 35% off. Plus, kids sail free. MSC Cruises. Let's holiday. To book, visit msccruises.com or contact your travel advisor. Restrictions apply. Ships registered in Panama and Malta.
Start your spring cleaning early. Get an insanely clean home with Zero Res carpet and air duct cleaning. For this month only, mention me, Chris Chandler, and you'll get 3 rooms of carpet clean for $129 plus a free staircase. Book online at ZeroResAtlanta.com.
I'm talking about you, Ray Barboni, owning a piece of a major motion picture. How much of a piece is entirely up to you. What I'm saying is you could invest part of the $300,000 that Palmer owes you, or all of it. It's entirely up to you.
Oh, yeah, I think that might be my favorite Gene Hackman role, playing sleazy film producer Harry Zim in Get Shorty. Goodness gracious, what a movie, what a performance. That's the first Gene Hackman movie I want Vinny and Yoki to watch this weekend, is Get Shorty. Such an amazing show. Welcome back to the Mark Arum Show. I've got so much Gene Hackman audio. We lost the legend at the age of 95, tragically dying in his house with his wife and his dog. Authorities do not suspect foul play, but remarkable career. And I'm planting my flag, the greatest of American actor of all time. I dare anyone to say anyone was better than the legend that is Gene Hackman. We're going to get an update on the egg story in just a second. Deborah, I want to share with you, I purposely didn't tell you before the show because I wanted to talk about it on the air. Yesterday I was emceeing an event, hosting a charity event in Buckhead for the Prison Doctor. By the way, prisondoctordr.org, great organization. Shelley Winter hooked me up with them. Had a great event, raised a lot of money at the Atlanta Fish Market. One of the best meals I've ever had at a fundraiser, by the way. Surf and turf. It was phenomenal. That's not the story I want to tell you, Deborah. So after the event, we're talking to the people there, the generous donors that came out, and this woman came up to me and just started raving about how much she loves the show. And it was so nice to hear. And she's like, some days you make me laugh. Some days you make me cry. You're doing such a good job. You're and I'm like blown away by this. Like I always enjoy hearing feedback, positive feedback about the show, but this was like the most sincere comment, and I was like, wow, that's unbelievable. Thank you so much for listening. And then she goes, when's your birthday party again? And how do I get tickets? And I'm like, then I realized she thought I was Eric Erickson. Because he's got his 50th birthday bash or whatever coming up. And I didn't have the heart to be like, I am not Eric Erickson. So I was like, oh, I think you can get the tickets at WSBRadio.com. She's like, oh, great, I'll be there. I'll see you. And I was like, wah, wah, wah. So I texted Eric.
So she's going to show up looking for Eric. And then she's like, wait a minute. Who was that other guy?
Now, listen, I've been mistaken for Clark Howard many times. I've never been mistaken for Eric Erickson, but I mean, I passed along what she said to Eric. I texted him after the event, and he was dying laughing. I'm like, this woman. I mean, apparently she doesn't watch the Erickson live stream on WSBRadio.com because she thought I was Eric Erickson. But anyway, fabulous WSB radio listener. I hope you're listening now. I didn't want to embarrass either of us and be like, oh, no, I'm not Eric Erickson, but it was a funny story. All right, so Peter Harlambous, ABC. Peter, good morning, my friend. Big local story. I know it's a big national story, the rise in egg prices, the egg shortage, but especially here locally. Once Waffle House threw a 50-cent per egg surcharge on there, that became a massive story here. President Trump and the administration yesterday laying out a plan to combat this egg shortage and the high prices. What can you tell us about the Trump egg plan this morning?
Yeah, so this is the Trump administration's first plan of attack to handle these surging egg prices. They're investing nearly $1 billion in biodiversity measures, biosecurity, vaccines for chickens, importing hundreds of millions of eggs from other countries, hoping that over time this will start to stem the cost of these surging and at times historic egg prices.
Talk about, the importing there. I saw a story last week that Turkey, of all countries, is sending us just a crazy amount of eggs. Are there any other countries that we will be looking to for egg supplies, and could tariffs perhaps impact the eggs coming into the United States?
No, that's a great point, especially because at the end of the day, egg production, poultry in the United States is such a strong part of the economy. And fundamentally, this idea of relying on other countries could hurt American farmers. But for now, at the end of the day, because the consumer is being so impacted here, the Trump administration is prioritizing kind of increasing a lot of that egg importing from other countries, finding new countries to potentially import from. But what's interesting here is it's unclear at this point whether or not that's going to make a difference in the egg price. There's just simply too much demand and not enough supply. A lot of experts are looking at this proposal from the Trump administration and saying, while it's helpful, it's not enough to start stemming that surging price.
Peter Harlambous from ABC News joining us on the Mark Arum Show. I know there's inflationary, factors on this, but the big factor is the bird flu, right? Just the mass killing of hens that have caught the bird flu. Do we have any idea how depleted our chicken supply is that's leading to the lack of eggs?
It's pretty bad. I mean, I spoke to an expert from Urner Barry. That's the entity that basically sets the wholesale price of eggs yesterday. And she described this as basically astronomical in terms of the scope of how big this problem is. The fact that, generally speaking, if you look at the number of chickens needed to supply the American economy, we are magnitudes from that number. And in the long term, it's not even clear that once the supply is fixed, once we increase the amount of chickens and eggs back in the United States system, whether or not the price will actually go down. If we look back at 2022, the last time the bird flu really wrecked the agricultural sector, even after the wholesale price of egg went down significantly, it took a long time for the actual retailers and these egg producers to actually adjust their prices. At the end of the day, they began to try to recoup a lot of the losses. And even though there was a supply kind of resurgence and the issue with the bird flu kind of resolved itself in the short term, consumers didn't see that reflected on their grocery bill, at their checks, at restaurants, because the prices stayed high.
Here in Atlanta, the general consensus among my colleagues in the newsroom, eggs hovering around $7.50 a dozen. You're based in New York City. Do I even want to ask what eggs cost in New York City right now?
It's terrible, I have to say. I mean, I was at a bodega yesterday where they were charging $12 to $14 for a single carton of eggs. And again, that's New York City. That's not what it is everywhere. But across the country, consumers are not necessarily seeing the price of eggs reflecting this average price. The average price is around $5. Consumers are seeing $7, $8, $9, $10, even $12 for just a carton of eggs. That's something we haven't seen in over a decade, and it's likely to get worse. The USDA at this point is predicting that it could go up as much as 70% by the end of the year from this already high point.
All right, Peter Harlambous, ABC News. Peter, thanks so much for your time.
Thanks so much, Mark. Take care.
I love the fact that the Trump administration has a plan they're pushing forward. The question now is, though, this $1 billion plan to ease the cost of eggs, how long is it going to take to show up? up at the grocery store. ABC News Chief Business and Economics Correspondent Rebecca Jarvis.
One of the big questions is how do you deal with the birds when the flu has been detected? The U.S. requires the culling of the entire flock to stop the spread because the disease is so highly contagious, but it can take 9 months to repopulate. That means a long time before you get that supply back. And according to the Agriculture Secretary, prices are likely to go higher into the spring and Easter. That's high season generally for egg prices, but they could ease with these measures this summer.
I am going to give you a conspiracy theory that I've come up with in my head regarding not just eggs, but food supply for humans. It's not, I don't think it's that far-fetched. It's a controversial theory, not a... Anyway, I'll share it when you come next, when we get back after this quick break. Deborah's got an update on the search for the missing Lake Oconee boater, and we're awaiting the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom to visit President Trump at the White House today. When it happens, you'll hear it live right here on 95.5 WSB.
He's the guy at the desk next to you.
I've got a sense of humor.
He's your co-pilot for the ride home.
The driver of this vehicle is a better human being than you are.
He's Eric Von Hessler.
I'm here to tell you the truth.
Eric Von Hessler.
Today at 3.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Welcome to Window Wisdom with North Georgia Replacement Windows. Today we're talking about long-term decisions with window and door experts Ted Kirk and Jonathan Cullum, owners of North Georgia Replacement Windows. You guys are passionate about helping homeowners with your Infinity from Marvin fiberglass windows. Why all the focus on this window?
Well, we want all of our customers to have the very best for their homes, and all of our experience in the window and door business has led us to this one window that outperforms all others.
How long do Infinity from Marvin windows last?
There's a reason we say Infinity fiberglass windows are a decision you'll only need to make once. They're the most durable material available, paired with the most advanced installation techniques by our certified installers.
What if something does happen? What is the warranty on the Infinity windows?
Infinity from Marvin carries a limited lifetime warranty, backed by Marvin, who's been in the business for over 100 years. We also include a lifetime service warranty, which means if you ever have a problem with a window or door, we'll fix it for free.
Do you have to replace a minimum quantity of windows at one time?
Absolutely not. Unlike our competitors, we'll replace as many or as few windows as you'd like at one time.
So what type of special offers are you running this month?
We have some big discounts available right now. Please visit the special section of our website for more info. We've also partnered with some financing companies for flexible payment options to help make our windows and doors more affordable.
Thank you, Ted and Jonathan, for helping to simplify the window shopping process. To schedule your free consultation, visit them online at ngwindows.com. Check out this month's special offers with huge discounts and flexible payment plans, saving you money and making it easier to put the very best windows in your home. Act quickly. These are limited time offers. Log on to ngwindows.com and click on the special offers tab. ngwindows.com.
Infinity from Marvin, replacement windows, yeah!
Hey folks, it's Belinda. What you got planned this weekend? Come on out to the Lakewood 400 Antique Market this Friday through Sunday and coming. More than 500 booths with everything you can imagine. 1321 Atlanta Highway. Visit LakewoodAntiques.com.
I was sitting on the couch in my living room during the recent Arctic blast, and I was freezing. Hey, it's Mark Aram here. Window draft, unacceptable. I started to freak out, and then I remembered, hey, Dr. Roof does windows and siding. They've been doing it for over 25 years, and I can buy now and pay later. Yes, I can get my windows fixed by the best in the biz at Dr. Roof, and I can buy now and pay later. If you have window issues, roofing issues, call or go online for an appointment right now. Dr. Roof, for all your roofing, siding, and window needs.
Monica Pearson for Superior Plumbing. Do you have a plumbing issue but have a busy weekday schedule? Superior Plumbing can schedule an appointment that fits your schedule. They show up on time and get the job done right the first time. Locally owned and operated for over 40 years.
If you're living with dry age-related macular degeneration or dry AMD, you may be at risk for developing geographic atrophy or GA. GA can be unpredictable and progress rapidly, leading to irreversible vision loss. Now there's something you can do to
slow it down again.
Izervay is proven to slow GA progression.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Izervay or avacincaptad pegol is a prescription eye injection used to treat GA. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may temporarily increase eye pressure. Your vision may be impaired after an eye injection or exam. Don't delay. Ask your doctor about Izervay today.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Visit Izervay.com. That's IZERVAY.com.
Paid for by Astellas Pharma.
9:50 on the Mark Aram Show, checking delays on the downtown connector. Live with the latest, Mike Shields.
Of course, we have a mark in both directions, but things going to improve slightly northbound as just watched a crash that was in a couple center lanes. Move to the right shoulder, I-75-85. Northbound just north of I-20. That activity is on the right shoulder, and all lanes are back open. I'm Mike Shields, 95.5 WSB.
You stay away from my children. Do you understand?
My God, I haven't been in here for years.
Hey! Are you listening to me? Yes, I am! I think you're having a nervous breakdown.
Gene Hackman in The Royal Tenenbaums, another amazing performance. He was there. He played Ben Stiller's dad. Deborah, are you familiar with The Royal Tenenbaums? Have you seen that?
Oh, yeah. I've seen that. Yep. Yep.
It's funny, the two roles that are sticking. I mean, aside for Unforgiven with Gene Hackman, again, rest in peace, passed away at the age of 95. Unforgiven is probably his signature role in my lifetime. The French Connection came out before I was born, and I've seen it, and he was great, but it's a weird movie. I don't understand the love of that, but Unforgiven. But right after that, it's two comedies. It's The Royal Tenenbaums, and it's Get Shorty that I absolutely love. So Hackman could do it all. Gnocchi's pulling Gene Hackman cuts. We'll play him throughout the show. All right, before we get to the local story and the update for the missing Lake Oconee boater, I've got it's not a conspiracy theory, but it's going to be a controversial theory. And it relates to what we're seeing right now with the shortage of eggs. I'm going to extrapolate this. So avian flu, I don't know, like over 1 million hens had to be put down, right, Deborah? Like a huge amount of, even more than that, it could be tens of millions to get rid of the avian flu. First question I have are the like you're a former farmer, so you know this, but just confirm. There are two types of chickens. We have the egg-laying chickens, and then we have the chickens that are being farmed for chicken breasts and Chick-fil-A sandwiches, right? Those are two separate outfits.
I mean, pretty much any chicken can lay an egg.
Sure.
Some are used more for laying eggs. You can only lay eggs so many years, and then they become, dinner chickens.
Dinner. All right.
I
So
guess you can kind of have two chickens.
There's a progress. Dinner chickens. All right. So I'm just saying. Well, if they're killing so many chickens right now, at what point are we going to get sticker shock at the grocery store when it comes to chicken breasts, chicken legs, chicken thighs? Right? Wouldn't that seem to be the next thing that's going to skyrocket in price? If the farmers are having to put down all of these chickens, does that seem like the next logical thing that's going to shoot up in price?
Yeah, I guess I haven't noticed the last time I went to the store about chicken. Food is expensive already more than it was, so I've just kind of used to that now. I have to specifically look at chicken now. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm waiting for that. So that popped in my. All right. So here's my conspiracy theory, my controversial theory. I think the power, you want to call them the deep state, whatever you want to call them, the powers that be. That's the way I like to call them, the powers that be. They realize that this, the bird flu and mad cow and all these things that have been infecting our food supply aren't going away anytime soon. And eventually they're going to get worse and worse. So here's the conspiracy theory. I think, and I've seen this personally over the last decade, the push from the powers that be to, the Beyond Meat options. You have the fake chicken nuggets. You have the fake burgers. How about the push for humans to start eating insects? Right? That's a thing. You can buy chocolate-covered crickets and all. Like, what? I think the powers, the deep state, whatever you want to call them, I think they know, like, within the next 50 years, we're going to be running short of food. Whether it's mad cow disease, taking out our cattle for our steaks and hamburgers. I think there's no pig disease, right? Is bacon safe now? Country ham? That's my conspiracy.
Wasn't there swine flu at one point?
Oh, you're right. Swine flu. Haven't heard about that in a while. That'll be a story now in a month. Swine flu's back in Arkansas. So that's it's a controversial theory that the powers that be know that our food chain eventually is going to get crippled by all of these things that keep popping up. And they're like, we got to get humans ready eating other stuff. Bugs, tofu, fake meat, fake chicken, fake bacon, turkey. Are the turkeys okay? Can we still get turkey bacon?
Yeah, the turkeys are okay.
All right, the turkeys are all right. So there's my conspiracy theory. All right, Deborah, let's update that search for the missing Lake Oconee boater. What do we know this morning?
Well, it seems that the search teams that are out there have narrowed it down to one final area, and it's a really difficult area to maneuver through. And I guess it's where they found his fiance, but because it's so hard to get through, they've been having trouble getting out there. But there's a lot of downed trees there, and they're thinking because of some of those submerged trees, that might have been a big role in what happened to both him and his fiance. But they believe they're in this final area, and they're thinking in the next couple days they'll actually find something soon.
Oh, all right. So maybe some closure for all the families involved. Again, the two missing boaters, the woman, the fiance, was found floating in the lake. But the man, the 50-year-old man, the teacher, coach at Westminster, had not yet been found. They found items of his belongings on the boat. They found his shoes floating in the lake, but his remains have not been found. So they've narrowed it down to the final search area. I hope. Well, obviously, I hope he's still alive somewhere. That's the best possible scenario. But short of that, if they can find his remains and maybe get some closure for the family. So we'll update that. Quick update on tariffs. I mentioned to Peter Haralambous, with all these imported eggs from Turkey, could tariffs be impacting that? I didn't think about the effect that aluminum tariffs might have. I'm like, what do I do for aluminum siding? I didn't realize, Deborah, beer cans are made with aluminum. What happens if these aluminum tariffs go into effect? What happens to beer prices?
Yeah. Poor Gnocchi and his 30 racks there are going to be affected big time because it looks like all the local brewers are going to have to increase their cost about 25% just to cover the cost of tariffs on the local industry. So all those craft brews that you love, Gnocchi, they're about to go up.
Wow, I wonder about the big, the Anheuser-Busch's of the world or the Coors. Do they have enough aluminum that, obviously it's going to hurt the local brewers that make the beers here, but are the big brew shops, are they insulated from the tariffs? Do they have aluminum sources in the United States that are tariff-free, or are you going to see Busch and Coors Light and Bud also increase? So, yeah.
They also have bottles, too, so they can rely on glass a little bit more.
Is beer better out of a bottle than a can? I think so. Draft first, then bottle, then can. That's the official order on beer. All right, thank you, Deborah. So we'll wait and see. Oh, there was one tariff note. I believe yesterday President Trump in the cabinet meeting said the Mexico-Canada tariffs have been pushed back a little bit more. March 4th now. We'll update that throughout the day. Coming up after news, weather, and traffic, though, Robert Berger is going to join us live in Jerusalem, the latest on the ceasefire deal with Israel and Hamas. That's next on The Mark Arum Show.
Hey, it's Shelley Winter here from my good friends at PalmettoSleep.com. Let's talk about a serious business, sleep apnea. I suffer from it, and whether you've been diagnosed with it or afraid you have it, I have the solution. Palmetto Sleep is here to give you your life back. They make it easy to get help for sleep apnea because living without a good night's sleep is simply no way to live. Palmetto Sleep offers a custom-fitted oral appliance that opens your airway so you naturally breathe the way nature intended. The best part is they offer virtual consultations and in-home sleep testing. No overnight stays at a sleep center. Plus, Palmetto Sleep has all the doctors that you will need. Most appointments are virtual, and it's all covered by your private medical insurance. Don't suffer from another sleepless night or daytime fatigue like I do. Visit PalmettoSleep.com now. Visit PalmettoSleep.com. That's PalmettoSleep.com.
Are you facing a fork in the road and deciding between continuing your career and retirement? I'm Wes Moss, host of Money Matters, and this massive life decision shouldn't be taken lightly. Talk with my team if you'd like help reviewing your retirement accounts and building a financial plan. We can help you review options and offer an opinion based on your best interests. You can find us at yourwealth.com. That's YOUR wealth.com.
WSB Atlanta, WSBB FM, and HD1 Doraville. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
It's happening, guys. Your hair's thinning, the crown's disappearing. Hair loss might have you feeling you've lost your identity. It's Mark Arum here. Thankfully, there's Advanced Hair Simple One-Day Treatment. You decide how much, how thick, and where. It's your own natural hair that begins regrowing the very next day, and it's guaranteed to grow for life. I've seen Advanced Hair's incredible results with my own eyes. Get your free consultation, $250 off, and 250 free hair grafts. Call 470-660-HAIR or advancedhair.com.
News, weather,
traffic. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Hi there, good morning. It is 10 o'clock. I'm Sabrina Cupid. This news sponsored by Dr. Roof. Well, a new sign this morning that the economy may be softening. New jobless numbers are out and more people are out of work than what was expected. Jim Ryan has a look.
In the week leading up to February 22nd, 242,000 claims were filed for jobless benefits. That's 22,000 more than the week before and the highest count since October. Federal employees terminated by Elon Musk's Department of Government Efficiency are not reflected in the weekly number, but Washington, D.C. did show a 26% jump in filings for jobless benefits.
And while we're talking about jobs and money, President Trump saying that tariffs against Mexico and Canada will be enforced starting on March 4th now. So how are the markets reacting? The Dow is currently up 64 at 43,497. NASDAQ is down more than a full percent. The S&P is down more than 0.5% here in the 10 o'clock hour. Your weather for today, not quite as lovely as yesterday, but not bad. Mostly cloudy, breezy. Afternoon highs around 68. There is a slight chance of a stray shower today. WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards will have Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast coming up in just over 2 minutes. A Cobb County man has been sentenced to 2 life sentences plus 20 years for repeatedly beating his girlfriend and setting a house fire that killed her mother and grandmother. 32-year-old Robert Colt Smith was convicted of 2 counts of felony murder and first-degree arson in the fire on Janet Lane in Austell back in 2023. 52-year-old Andrea Knoll and 74-year-old Michelle LaCroix killed in that fire. Smith was also charged with aggravated battery for brutally beating Knoll's daughter before setting that deadly fire. We have an update on Pope this morning. Terry Moran has more from Vatican City.
The Vatican tells us today that the Pope slept well last night, that he got up, he's had breakfast, he's undergoing some new tests and continues his therapy. This is his 14th day in the hospital here, dealing with pneumonia and kidney issues, and his condition now is described as stable.
Now, some changes are coming to the U.S. Postal Service as it continues with a series of plans meant to cut costs. The Postal Service says the changes to its standards will lead to at least $36 billion in savings over 10 years. Postal workers will be able to start their routes earlier and travel further when delivering. They say the majority of the mail and packages, though, will remain unchanged, but select pieces will see faster or slower service depending on the location. Frontier Airlines expected to announce expansion at Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport. The low-cost carrier is expected to increase its presence by 40% here in Atlanta. The expansion will also include increased staffing. Frontier already serves more than 40 destinations from Orlando to New York to Puerto Rico and Mexico, and more will be added as part of this expansion. And pickleball is all the rage right now, and Georgia is in line to benefit big time.
The world's largest indoor pickleball business calls Georgia a well-established sports hub and says it is planning to open more than 20 new clubs in the state, including in Atlanta, Athens, Marietta, and beyond for its indoor courts, pro shops, coaching, lounge areas, and community-driven programs. An Arizona-based Pickleball Kingdom is actively seeking franchise partners and promising job opportunities as it expands. I'm Bloomberg's Denise Pellegrini for 95.5 WSB.
It's time now for live team coverage of traffic and weather. Ashley Frasca is in the WSB 24-hour traffic center with a look at the roads.
Good morning, Sabrina. Seeing a little bit of a late jam out of Woodstock on 575 southbound. Crews have set up some road work in the right lane between 92 and Bells Ferry. Has you on the brakes back at Town Lake Parkway. More construction this below the airport. 285 eastbound on that ramp to 75 south in Clayton County. The right lane of that ramp is blocked. And some better news downtown. Just cleared a crash to the shoulder. 75 85 northbound north of I-20. I'm Ashley Frasca, 95.5 WSB.
I'm WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. Mostly cloudy but dry today as a cold front moves through. Daytime high 68. Wind gusts as high as 25 miles per hour. Clear and cool for tonight. Lows in the upper 30s, low 40s. Tomorrow, sunshine, high 65.
We have 62 degrees in Alpharetta at 61 in Lithia Springs. Loganville has 63 degrees. We'll have more news at 10:30. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
.05 on an absolutely gorgeous Thursday morning here in the A. Mark Aram here, you there. 10:05, 5 minutes after 10 o'clock. This is the Mark Aram Show, live Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to noon on 95.5 WSB. Extended family with us today. Deborah Green, the executive producer of the show. Vinny on the other side of the takeout window. Young Yoki screens your calls. Coming up in 30 minutes, we're going to be joined live by travel expert Peter Greenberg talking about the rash of plane incidents over the last couple of weeks. The Prime Minister of the United Kingdom visiting President Trump today. We will cover that live, of course, here on 95.5 WSB. Right now, though, we head to Jerusalem. Joining us live from CBS Radio News correspondent Robert Berger. Robert, as always, thank you for your time, my friend.
Good morning.
Round one of the ceasefire deal still active? Is it ending? What's the status between Israel and Hamas right now?
Well, it's pretty much done. Technically, it ends on Saturday, but we've seen the final prisoner swaps take place. Today, 4 bodies of hostages were brought back to Israel, and in exchange, Israel released 643 Palestinian prisoners. And that is the end of phase one. Overall, we've seen 33 Israeli hostages released over this 6-week ceasefire, 25 alive, 8 dead, and somewhere around 2,000 Palestinian prisoners freed.
Robert, you mentioned that there's going to be 600 Palestinian prisoners freed. Do they go to Gaza? Is it up to them where they go? What's the protocol when Israel releases these prisoners?
Well, no, it's not up to them. It was up between Israel and Hamas in their agreement. Of these 640, a large number, maybe 400, these aren't exact figures, went back to Gaza. About 50 or 100 went to the West Bank and East Jerusalem, and then another 50 or so were exiled out of the country.
Okay, gotcha. All right, that makes sense. So it's not like you're free now to go wherever you want. Here's a plane ticket to Paris or whatever. There's certain restrictions.
But they are free. I mean, they're out of jail. And it's important to note that a number of these, over 100, were serving life sentences for terrorist attacks against Israelis in which many people were killed. So that part of the deal, very painful for the Israelis.
Yeah, listen, Robert, phase one, there were a lot of warts, right? A lot of speed bumps on this release of prisoners for hostages. But as we wrap up phase one, optimistic that there'll be a phase two?
Not really. I have to say, phase one really went much more smoothly than people had anticipated. I gave you the numbers before, but now phase two has yet to be negotiated, and negotiations haven't even started. They're supposed to start next week. And what's at stake? This phase two calls for a complete end to the war and the release of the remaining hostages. That's about 59 hostages left in Gaza, of which about 25 are alive. The sticking, of course, again, for hundreds, if not thousands, of Palestinian prisoners in exchange, but the sticking point is the end of the war, which is something that Hamas wants, but Israel doesn't because it's vowed to eliminate Hamas. It doesn't want to end the war and move out of Gaza while Hamas is still in control there.
Robert Berger joining us live in Jerusalem here on the Mark Aram Show. All right, so the phase two has yet to be negotiated. Does that mean when phase one ends, the ceasefire ends? Could we expect escalation between Israel and Hamas?
That is a danger. There are those in the Israeli cabinet that actually want to go back to war because we've seen the spectacle of Hamas releasing these hostages, and they've been parading either the bodies or the living hostages in front of crowds. And it shows that Hamas is still in control in Gaza, which, is in opposition to Israel, one of Israel's main war goals, which was to wipe out Hamas. So that is the sticking point right now. Getting to phase 2 and getting the release of all those hostages is going to be difficult. One thing that's being discussed is extending phase 1, maybe having some more phased releases, like 4 hostages here in exchange for a few hundred Palestinian prisoners, like what we've seen for the past 6 weeks.
Robert, have we seen any developments on the future of Gaza post-war? Any updates? I know President Trump claimed that the United States wants to come in there. Have we had any developments on what that might look like?
Yeah, well, President Trump's very controversial proposal, which is to move about 2 million Palestinians out of Gaza, mostly to Egypt and Jordan, and then turn it into what he calls a Riviera of the Middle East. That's been received very coldly, to say the least, especially by Egypt and Jordan and the Arab states. So next week, there's supposed to be an Arab summit with Arab leaders who are going to supposedly come up with an alternative plan, because obviously they don't want to see the Palestinians expelled from Gaza, and they don't want to have to take them in. So we'll see what the Arabs come up with. They want to keep the Palestinians in Gaza and allow them to rebuild while remaining on their land.
Quick follow-up on that, Robert. Where will this Arab summit be held, and who will be in attendance?
That's it's either in Cairo or Saudi Arabia, and I'm sorry, I have to check that.
No, that's okay.
Usually they're in Cairo, but the Saudis have been playing a key role in the Arab world now. Who will be in attendance? All the Arab leaders, which would mean the Gulf states, Egypt, and mainly the Gulf states, Egypt and Jordan. And that's interesting because President Trump, wanting a bigger peace in the Middle East that would include Saudi Arabia and peace between Israel and the Arab world when this is all over.
Yeah, I think that the only way we get a solution to what happens post-war Gaza is going to be from the Arab states coming to some sort of an agreement on what to deal with. You mentioned Saudi Arabia. They've been key in the Russia-Ukraine talks. Final question for you, Robert. Any reaction in Israel to those ongoing peace talks? And is there a side? Does Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, is he side with Ukraine? Does he side with Russia? What's the general feel on that?
Yeah, no, I think they tread very carefully on that, because I haven't heard any public, they have enough problems of their own trying to get a peace deal, let's say, that President Trump has been talking about. I think people are surprised to see how far President Trump has gone toward Russia. Certainly, if you listen to analysts, they would express concern on that. As far as officials, they can't really comment. You don't want to alienate President Trump. And even the Russian President Putin, he's a power broker in the region as well. So the Israelis have to tread carefully. Though I think, inside, I think Israelis as a whole would certainly support Ukraine and not Russia.
Do Israel and Russia have active diplomatic relations?
Yeah, they do. They were closer, I would say, before the invasion of Ukraine. Things have gone down a bit since then. Russia was also a power broker in Syria, but now the Syrian regime of Bashar al-Assad has fallen, so the Russians have been weakened a little bit. But like I said, Netanyahu and the Israeli government, they're careful not to alienate a superpower like Russia.
Yeah, probably the wise move. Robert Berger, CBS News in Jerusalem. Robert, as always, thanks for your time. Please stay safe, my friend.
Thanks, Mark.
All right. Quick break. When we come back, again, the Prime Minister of the UK visiting President Trump today. We'll preview that and more on the loss of a legend. Gene Hackman passed away at the age of 95.
If you have the WSB radio app.
If you have the WSB
all the notifications you
If
need.
you have the WSB app.
All the local and breaking news alerts you need.
Breaking news in Cobb County.
All in one place.
We'll send out an alert on the WSB app.
The 95.5 WSB app.
Download it from your app store today.
If I said to focus your energy, where would you start?
Let's say you run a business, a school campus, a hospital, or a government facility. Finding ways to save can be overwhelming, but Georgia Power has energy efficiency tips and rebates to help. Things like improving lighting with LEDs, making HVAC upgrades, adding building controls, and more. Look, you've got a business to run and numbers to hit. Georgia Power can help you focus your energy where it matters most. Learn more at georgiapower.com/biz.
Hey, it's Scott Slade from my roofer, FGA Roofing. If your neighbor's designer roof has caught your eye, search FGA Roofing. And for a limited time, get $1,000 off your final quote if you mention you heard about it on the radio. Search FGA Roofing. That's FGA Roofing. And ask about 0% financing.
For over 25 years, you've counted on All Four Seasons for garage and entry doors. But we also specialize in replacement windows with a lifetime warranty. Hi, I'm Dan Watkins, owner of All Four Seasons Garage and Entry Doors. Enhance your home's energy efficiency and curb appeal with a wide range of quality window options, backed by unparalleled service and craftsmanship. From garage doors to entry doors to windows, for every opening of your home, we've got you covered. When trust matters, trust us. All the number 4 seasonsgarages.com.
The following is a paid commercial announcement.
Our farmers feed us all. For generations, they've done what's best for the land. So why is the litigation industry threatening Georgia farmers' go-to crop protection tool? Without glyphosate-based herbicides, crop yields will drop, costs will soar, and we'll all see even higher grocery bills. Farmers need to be supported, not controlled. To keep glyphosate available in our state, go to TakeControlGeorgia.com. Paid for by Modern Ag Alliance in support of Georgia farmers.
Dave Baker here for Ben Hill Renovations. I know what's important to you when you're looking for a new deck. You want the work done with quality workmanship, on time, within your budget, and built correctly. Getting a new deck from Ben Hill Renovations checks all the boxes. And when it comes to new decks, pretty much anything you can imagine, Ben Hill can do. And they're all backed by the Ben Hill Workmanship Warranty. Swing by the new Ben Hill Renovations showroom in Douglasville and talk to one of their designers. Or see them on the web at bhrenovations.com. Ben Hill Renovations, creating raving fans since 1964.
Did you know there's money hidden in your yard? Really? Truly. Water furnace heat pumps actually pull the energy stored in the ground and turn it into free, renewable energy to keep your home comfortable in every climate. A water furnace geothermal system can save you up to 70% on your heating, cooling, and hot water costs. 70% off your utility bills. It's the only type of system that will pay you back. Most homeowners with water furnace geothermal save more on monthly bills than they actually pay for the system when installation costs are financed. See how much you could save by visiting our savings calculator at waterfurnace.com. Now, are you ready for the bonus? A 30% federal tax credit for residential ground source heat pump installations has been extended through 2032. More money back to you. Save up to 70% on your heating, cooling, and hot water costs with Water Furnace. Take 5 minutes to check it out at waterfurnace.com/ATL and then start saving.
Cancer upends your life. We're doing all we can to change that. At Winship Cancer Institute of Emory University, we're reimagining the care experience to ease the burden of cancer. With experts in your cancer and the research, trials, and treatments you can only get here. All so you can focus on what matters most, the best chance of living a full life. Winship Cancer Institute of Emory University. Cancer care designed around you and your life. EmoryHealthcare.org/Winship.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-2798. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com
or call 800-575-2798. That's 800-575-2798.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Protect your turf from termites. Call Breda Pest Management. They handle bugs and critters. And Breda's proud to sponsor Scott Slade's Georgia every Thursday on Atlanta's Morning News.
Breda, no need to be afraid of bugs.
10:19 on the Mark Aram Show, checking delays on the west side of I-285, live with the latest. Ashley Frasca.
Hey, Mark, it looks like they had all lanes blocked with a crash on 285 South just past South Cobb Drive, and now maybe down to just one or two right lanes blocked, but traffic is quickly stacking up there. And if you're headed to the south side perimeter, 285 eastbound, you are heavy on the brakes because of road work that's being done on the eastbound ramp to 75 South down near the airport, and construction delays getting into Kennesaw, too. 575 southbound, crews are working in the right lane before Bell's Ferry. Traffic brought to you by Zenshi Handcrafted Sushi. Craving something fresh and flavorful? Discover Zenshi Handcrafted Sushi. High quality, affordable, and made fresh daily. Find it at your local Publix markets right by the seafood counter. I'm Ashley Frasca, 95.5 WSB.
Avery, who's in Chicago?
We'll get to all that. Oh, the hell with it. Clean up and come on over. You earned a good dinner and a night out.
Gene Hackman, Tom Cruise, The Firm, continuing to mourn the loss of a legend, 95 years old. Gene Hackman, his wife, and his dog all found dead. Tragic story, but the loss of the greatest American actor I think any of us have ever seen in our lifetimes. We'll have more on the life and times of Gene Hackman. I mentioned at the top of the show, I never had the opportunity to interview or meet Gene Hackman, but I'm such a fan of his work. Amazingly, we have a local man on the line from Covington, Mike Leathers, not only knew him, but had a relationship with Gene Hackman. Mike, welcome to the show. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
How did you know Gene?
I drove race cars for a living for a long time, and Valvoline, being our primary sponsor, would bring in celebrity drivers occasionally to be on the team. And during a 24-hour race in St. Louis, they brought in Gene.
What was Gene a lover of cars? Did he have race experience?
He was. And surprisingly enough, most of the celebrities they brought in, well, when they would drive, we'd get behind, and then it would take myself and my teammates to catch back up. But Gene got in the car, and we were in the pits. We all grabbed a stopwatch, and on the first lap, we were looked at each other and went, Second lap, third lap, we kept timing him, and I looked at one of my other teammates, and I said, "We've got a partner this week." And he came very competitive. Came in, and we got to asking him, all right, Gene, how many times have you done this? Well, he knew he was going to have this opportunity, and he went to some driver schools, and evidently really took to it like a duck to water because he was good.
So he was a legitimately really good race car driver.
Yes. We would have had him for a teammate anytime.
That's amazing. Mike, how long ago was this?
Back, I think it was like 86 or 87.
Okay, so this was before like The Unforgiven and a lot of the movies I've been talking about, but he was still a big deal back then.
Oh, huge deal. And he was a big guy. He was probably 6'4", 6'5", really big fella, and is down to earth. It was like you were hanging out with your best friends all weekend.
That's amazing. We're talking to Mike Leathers from Covington, who had a relationship with Gene Hackman centered around who knew that he was a car guy and a race car fanatic. You mentioned down to earth. You mentioned there were also other celebrities that did that. Does he stand out as being one of the nicer celebrities that you drove with?
Absolutely. You would never, did you not know his background, you would never know he was a superstar actor. Cut up, tease with you. I mean, it was like just hanging out with your buddies. We, one of the fondest memories we got to laughing and joking around during an interview in St. Louis, and the fellow interviewed me, I forget who it was, said, what do you think about Gene being able to drive like this? And I said, well, that's not really a difficult thing for him. And he laughed, and he said, well, why do you say that? And I said, well, my God, he's an Academy Award-winning actor. All he's got to do is act like a race car driver. And he laughed about that, and he said, what do you think about that, Gene? He said, yeah, I hear what he's saying. I hope I can one day be able to beat Mike. And I looked at him and laughed. I said, "You're not that good of an actor."
That's hilarious.
And he just busted out.
Mike,
it was really a great weekend.
Mike, did you stay in touch with Gene after this?
Off and on. I when he was hired, I did not see him anymore. It was a shock. His wife was with him all weekend, and middle of America in July is not comfortable temperature-wise, and not one complaint from either one of them.
Oh, I didn't even think about that, especially in a race car racing around. Like, how hot does it get in the car?
Well, we had a thermometer in the car back then, and that was before the cool suits, and it was 140 degrees in the car.
Wow, and Hackman didn't complain about it?
Not a bit. He couldn't wait to get in.
That's remarkable. How did you find out the tragic news?
Well, my wife came to me this morning and told me, and I was like, "Oh, no way."
Yeah, it's really sad. Did you get a chance to get an autograph or take a picture with Gene when you were working with him?
Oh, yeah, we had, with tons of pictures and things. Very fond memories of him.
Well, if you don't mind, Mike, I'd really appreciate you jumping on with us. If you get a chance later on, I'd love for you to email me some of the pictures of you and Gene Hackman together.
I'll be glad to.
Awesome. Mike Leathers, are you still racing, Mike?
No, I got invited back to a race at Road Atlanta in 2016, and they waived my licensing and all that just to come back one more time. After I did that race, I said, "No, I'm out. I quit. I'm over. I'm done with it." It was kind of a cool ending because I ended up winning the race.
Oh, you went out in the winner's circle.
Went out on top.
There you go. Mike, thanks for reaching out. Amazing story there of your firsthand experience with the legendary actor and apparently a really good race car driver and an amazing human, Gene Hackman. Mike Leathers out in Covington joining us on the Mark Arum Show. We'll continue to remember Gene Hackman and his remarkable career throughout the show. Coming back, though, after news, weather, and traffic, travel expert Peter Greenberg's going to join us live. Got to pick his brain about the rash of plane incidents we've been dealing with in the first part of 2025. That is coming up next on the Mark Arum Show.
It's home show time. It's right around the corner, and it's going to be great. The Atlanta Home Show, Friday through Sunday, March 7th through 9th at the Cobb Galleria Center. 3 days only to shop, compare, and save with over 200 trusted local experts all under one roof. From kitchens and baths to flooring and more, inside and out. Don't miss Georgia's largest home show. Get your tickets now at atlantahomeshow.com. Use Baker in the promo code and save 50%. That's the Atlanta Home Show, March 7th through 9th at the Cobb Galleria Center.
Amazing deals like the one I'm about to tell you don't come along every day, guys. Hey, it's Mark Arum back from my friends at Reliable Heating and Air. This is unbelievable. You can now get a free furnace, gratis, no charge, with the purchase of a qualifying air conditioner. That's unbelievable. Get your free consultation by going to reliableair.com, reliableair.com, and next day installation's guaranteed, or they pay you $500. What an amazing deal. Free furnace with the purchase of a qualifying air conditioner. Free consultation. Go to reliableair.com. And if it's not installed the next day, Reliable will pay you $500. Reliable, amazing. Been serving the greater Atlanta area since 1978, and they have a 100% satisfaction guarantee that they stand behind. Plus, amazing 24/7 customer service. Always here for you, always reliable. ReliableAir.com.
Winning in the NFL comes down to the basics, blocking and tackling. In retirement, protection and income are the keys to success. Simply put, if you're nearing or in retirement, you can't afford a stock market crash. Hi, I'm Mitch Lyons. Having played on winning teams with the Steelers and Falcons, studying game film was a key to success. Now I'm a best-selling author and star in a new groundbreaking documentary film called The Retirement Deception. It unveils how the Wall Street machine has been deceiving us for decades and proves you don't need to risk your nest egg in the market to have the retirement you deserve. This film shows you exactly how to protect your retirement from stock market market drops and produce more income than you thought possible. I want you to watch this film for free. Call today for your free copy of The Retirement Deception. I think you would agree 30 to 40 years of saving for retirement is at least worth a phone call to watch this film and see how you can improve your retirement. Call today to speak with an all-pro retirement specialist to get your free copy of The Retirement Deception. Call 888-471-3896. That's 888-471-3896. MitchLyonsWealth.com. Your best game plan to protect, grow, and win retirement.
Heavy rains have recently impacted widespread areas of North Georgia. How did your roof hold up? Heavy rains expose roof leaks that can lead to water damage. Schedule a free roof analysis from Dave Baker, trusted and recommended, FindlayRoofing.com.
Roof. The morning rush hour.
Jam-packed bumper to bumper.
Evening rush hour.
All lanes are shut down.
And everything in between.
Crash still on the right lane, 85 northbound Hamilton.
Tune in 24/7 with the Triple Team Traffic Center.
Slow beginning at Piedmont Avenue, 75 South Slope.
Your source for Atlanta's traffic. Brought to you by the Cool Ray Lifetime Parts and Labor Warranty.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk. Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News,
weather,
traffic.
95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's News and Talk.
Hi there, good morning. It is 10:30. I'm Sabrina Cupid. This news is sponsored by your Metro Atlanta AMCO dealers. New this half hour, the company behind last year's Conyers chemical plant fire says it's now offering impacted employees voluntary severance. It's a story that's all new here at 10:30.
BioLab says they've continued to pay all employees as normal since the September fire, which destroyed the manufacturing facility. Now they're giving employees voluntary severance packages. Some employees are also being offered roles at another facility the company runs in Conyers, along with other locations across the country. Those who don't take the package will continue to be paid. BioLab also says it's cooperating with the U.S. Chemical Safety Board as their investigation continues. Austin Eller, 95.5 WSB.
Mostly cloudy and breezy today, highs 68. You might have a stray shower this afternoon, says WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. She'll have Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast straight ahead. A Cobb County man will spend his life behind bars for setting a house fire, killing his girlfriend's mother and grandmother.
Prosecutors say Andrea Nall and Michelle LaCroix were amazing women trying to protect their 19-year-old daughter and granddaughter from a pattern of domestic abuse. A jury convicting 32-year-old Robert Colt Smith on multiple counts, including felony murder, for setting fire to a vehicle outside the mother's home in 2023 after beating his girlfriend. The fire quickly spreading to the house, killing the two women inside, as well as 8 pets. Smith receiving 2 life sentences plus 20 years. Graham Carroll, 95.5 WSB.
Academy Award-winning actor Gene Hackman is dead at the age of 95. Police in New Mexico say Hackman and his wife of more than 3 decades were found dead in their Santa Fe home Wednesday afternoon. The Santa Fe Sheriff's Office saying that they do not believe foul play was a factor. And TMZ reporting this morning their bodies had been in that house for at least a day. 2 of the couple's dogs survived. Your money. Egg prices are high and are expected to go even higher. And new this morning, the White House is rolling out a $1 billion plan to ease the pain at checkout. Rebecca Jarvis has details on that plan.
According to the Secretary of Agriculture, the U.S. will look to import between 70 and 100 million eggs. That is still a relatively small number compared to the nearly 8 billion eggs the U.S. produced in just the month of January. The plan's meant to address the impact of the bird flu, and it also calls for a $500 million investment in biosecurity, $400 million in financial relief for impacted farmers, and $100 million in research and development of vaccines.
And we checked this morning, egg prices here in Georgia ranging from $5 a dozen up to $10 a dozen. President Trump says Mexico and Canada tariffs will start March 4th. He also says China will be charged an additional 10% tariff on that same date. And Amazon's Alexa is getting an AI update, artificial intelligence. It works with apps and the sound of your voice. Alexa Plus will provide customized services on things like grocery orders or even making dinner reservations for you. Amazon CEO Andy Jassy telling Good Morning America what makes this service different.
Most of the chatbots out there today can answer questions, but they can't really take actions like Alexa can.
And there is a cost, though. It's $19.99 a month and is expected to be available early next month. As we take a look at the markets, the Dow's up 343 at 43,776, so up almost a full percent. NASDAQ is down more than 0.5%, and the S&P is in the green. It's time now for live team coverage of traffic and weather. Ashley Frasca has a look at your roads.
Some unexpected brake lights headed through Woodstock this morning. 575 southbound crews are set up in the right lane before Bells Ferry. Not bad enough for an alternate, but you can always use Highway 5. And they've moved that crash to the far right lane on the west side. 285 south past South Cobb Drive, and just dealing with some volume still headed out of Gwinnett County and Duluth On 85 South, sluggish in spots getting to Indian Trail. I'm Ashley Frasca, 95.5 WSB.
This is WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. Cloudy skies today, breezy, high 68, wind gusts as high as 25 miles per hour, lows tonight in the upper 30s, low 40s. Tomorrow, sunshine, high 65, a touch warmer on Saturday with sunny skies, morning low 47, afternoon high 70.
66 degrees in Conyers, it's 64 in Roswell, 65 in Peachtree Corners. We'll have more news at 11 o'clock, breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
The morning rush hour, the evening rush hour, and everything in between.
All lanes being held. 575 north at Highway 92, exit 7 rolling.
Tune in 24/7 with the Triple Team Traffic Center.
Officials diverting you onto Mansell Road.
Your source for Atlanta's traffic.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
The friendly skies have been not so friendly recently. What's behind these rash of plane incidents? Travel expert Peter Greenberg joins us live next on the Mark Arum Show.
Hey, it's Scott Slade from iRoofer, FGA Roofing. If your home's exterior could use an updated look, or maybe one of your neighbor's designer roofs has caught your eye, search FGA Roofing for the latest in designer architectural shingles. Ask about 0% financing. That's FGA Roofing.
Mom and Dad seem different after a European-style holiday on MSC Cruises.
Call us Cloud and Yvette.
The ship had restaurants, shops, and nightlife.
La Galleria.
And of course, American touches like an aqua park and a sweets shop.
American je ne sais quoi.
Mom, you're from Wisconsin.
Wisconsin, Kevin.
Book now and save up to 35% off. Plus, kids-sail free. MSC Cruises. Let's holiday. To book, visit msccruises.com or contact your travel advisor. Restrictions apply. Ships registered in Panama and Malta.
It's no surprise that Ragsdale Heating, Air, Plumbing, and Electric continues to grow, and they're looking for good, caring people to join them. If you've got experience as a plumber, electrician, or are an HVAC tech, give them a call and be part of a great team. Be proud to bring your expertise, knowledge, and patience to homes all across Atlanta, like mine. Ragsdale's experts have been taking care of my home for years. Employees stay with Ragsdale 10, 20, even 30 years. Go to ragsdaleair.com/careers and apply today.
Hey everyone, it's your buddy Shelly Winter here. Join me this Saturday at noon for the Car Guys with Kevin Deutsch from Butler Lexus of South Atlanta. Buy or lease, fix or sell, everything you want to know about cars, we will cover Saturday noon to 1 right here on 95.5 WSB.
When it comes to beautiful, they wrote the book. Siding, paint, windows, and doors gives your home a brand new look.
At Superior Pro, we use the highest quality materials and the best techniques in windows, siding, painting, doors, and more. Plus, all our projects come with an extended labor warranty. Visit SuperiorPro.com for a free in-home design consultation.
Superior Pro, the pros to know.
Hey folks, it's Belinda. What you got planned this weekend? Come on out to the Lakewood 400 Antique Market this Friday through Sunday and coming. More than 500 booths with everything you can imagine. 1321 Atlanta Highway. Visit LakewoodAntiques.com.
How's your mother? Excuse me? She feeling better? How you know about my mother? She was in the hospital, but now you're taking care of her at home. She had a stroke. Your wife wants you to put her
That's
in
the
a
Runaway Jury. Another amazing performance by Gene Hackman. He could be the good guy, the bad guy, and everywhere in between. Welcome back to the Mark Arum Show. Remembering the loss of Gene Hackman, who I consider the greatest American actor of all time. Joining us live now, the greatest American travel expert of all time. Joining us from Monaco or Monaco? Monaco, right, Peter? Is that how it's pronounced? Monaco?
Yes, sir. It is Monaco.
There you go. Peter, in your travels, you ever run into Gene Hackman in an airport somewhere?
As a matter of fact, I have. Today we're still trying to figure out what happened. But what was amazing to me was that he was 95. Because for me, I mean, he was timeless. He was ageless. I go back to the French Connection. I'm sure you do as well.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the movie that made him, and it was so amazing.
Yeah, I mean, and he got a late start. Like, his first major role didn't happen until he was 37 years old in Bonnie and Clyde, and he just got better and better and better. Amazing. Yeah, we're going to find out what exactly happened, tragic situation with him, his wife, and his dog. My first inclination was like a carbon monoxide kind of situation in the house.
Yeah, that was my first thought as well, although there's some other gruesome thoughts that come to mind, but I'm not going to think about it until I find out what's going on.
Indeed. Peter, what's going on, man? Delta Airlines has been in the headlines almost on a daily basis, smoke in the cabins. Your take on this rash of airline incidents we've seen in the first quarter of 2025?
Well, believe it or not, there's no connection between any of them. There's no linkage. There's no common theme. They're all individual incidents with their own context and dynamics. Let me just talk about the smoke or the haze in the cabin incident. You know, if I were to take you to the tower right there at Hartsfield, you would see on any given day the alarm bell is ringing off the wall about 30 different times. Why? Because a warning light comes on in the cockpit of a plane, they declare an emergency, or a warning light doesn't come on, they declare an emergency, they scramble the crash trucks. And guess what? 99.9% of the time, it's nothing. In this situation, you may have noticed that the oxygen masks didn't drop down, and the reason for that was because they didn't lose pressure. They just turned around and made a safe emergency landing. So this doesn't disturb me. What disturbs me are things that the airlines and the FAA can control, like runway congestion, tarmac congestion, just the basic capacity of airports that's resulting in more runway incursions in this year than in the last decade. You saw it happen yesterday at Midway with the Southwest Airlines plane, literally, not just on final approach, about to touch down, where a jet cuts in front of them on the runway. The Southwest pilots immediately throttled up and were able to spool the engines to power fast enough to do a go-around. But that video is pretty haunting when you consider how close they came, and that deals with what? Runway capacity and ground control.
Yeah, but we're not connecting dots. It just happened coincidentally. We're seeing this influx of incidents. Aside from the runway capacity, you don't see a connection between any of all these.
None whatsoever. None whatsoever.
Peter Greenberg joining us live on the Mark Arum Show. I heard the story in Atlanta's Morning News, and forgive me, I don't have the details, but the headline was a couple was forced to fly from one destination to another while being seated next to a corpse. Apparently someone died on the plane. At that point, if the person dies... Go ahead, Peter.
Actually, Mark, no, somebody just didn't get the upgrade. Just kidding. Here's what happened.
Yeah.
This happens more than you think. Look, you have 300 people on a plane. Somebody's going to either get sick every once in a while, or every once in a while someone will actually say goodbye. But the problem at that point is, where were they when it happened? And it gets into a legal issue as to where you actually declare the person dead, because the paperwork can be so intense and compounding that the plane might be stuck there with all the passengers while they do the investigation. So a lot of times they'll make a decision to continue on with the flight so that they can do the paperwork and not visit anybody else.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it happens, as you mentioned, with so many people flying. And you know, I don't understand. I mean, it's not an ideal situation where you have to sit next to someone that had just passed away. But if you're 30,000 feet, what's the airline to do? I mean, you put them in the jump seat? I mean, there's no way. You're not going to, land and put them in storage. I mean, it's
this cannot turn into an airborne weekend at Bernie's.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Look, I'm presuming the plane was full, because if it wasn't, the flight attendants would have immediately moved those people to another seat. My guess is the flight was full and they had no other options.
Peter Greenberg joining us live in Monaco on the Mark Arum Show. I've mentioned a bucket list item for me is to travel with you to the North Korean peninsula. North Korea has opened up to a group of international travelers for the first time in years. Does this provide you and I a window to visit?
How many times have I told you I'm going to take you, Mark?
All right. I just need confirmation every so often.
Yes. Now, listen, there's still restrictions on that particular opening up. You have to put that in quotes. The people will be under heavy escort. They're not going to be able to see the real North Korea. They'll see like a Chef Place village. But the only thing that's going to save their economy, and they know it, is travel and tourism. And they've secretly contracted with some Spanish and German and Swiss companies to start to build their infrastructure. I go back to the 50s and the Cold War. The only photographs we saw from the Soviet bloc were black and white, when in fact these countries are beautiful. Same thing with North Korea. It's a beautiful country. We just don't see it that way because we've never seen it taken in those photographic in context. So there's an economic drive at foot here that's operating right now to push them into travel and tourism, and they will.
And the fact that, it's been off limits for so long that if they can tap into that tourist business, like I want to go to North Korea. So I can only imagine how many other people, want to check it out. So that's a huge possible revenue generator for North Korea to open it up.
Well, I'll give you an example. Saudi Arabia, a kingdom that was closed for 79 years, unless you were a religious tourist. You couldn't get in. And all of a sudden in 2019, they radically changed the policy, and anybody could get a visa on demand within 24 hours. We're talking hundreds of thousands and now millions of people coming into Saudi Arabia who never had it on their bucket list before. Same thing with China after ping pong diplomacy. So what's going to happen with North Korea, there's a pattern here.
The pattern being that if it opens up, more people will come.
Oh, yeah, the pattern's been established, between what happened in Saudi Arabia, what happened in China. Absolutely.
All right, Peter, I have never stayed at the Four Seasons Hotel on 14th Street in Atlanta, but I've enjoyed their decadent brunch. I probably, if I can't afford to stay at the hotel, I probably can't afford the Four Seasons private jet experience. Do you know anything about this?
Yeah, you're seeing a number of luxury hotel groups start to basically expand their brand. Ritz-Carlton now has cruise ships. Four Seasons is building cruise ships. And Four Seasons, for a number of years now, has chartered but rebranded. The plane says Four Seasons, a luxury jet that will take you around the world. It'll cost, depending on the itinerary and the year, anywhere from $150,000 to $200,000 a person. Oof. And it goes for maybe 45 to 50 days. You're literally hopping around the world in a jet that's been reconfigured to only hold maybe 74 seats. First class, lie flat seats with different catering, et cetera, et cetera. So, yeah, they're doing that expansion of the brand.
All right, I'll stick to the brunch. I can barely afford the brunch, but it's worth it. All right, Peter, you're in Monaco now. What's your flight agenda? What's your travel agenda? What are you working on?
Well, I'm here at Monaco attending the Forbes Travel Guide Global Summit. That's the conference of the world's leaders in travel, talking about what's going on, good, bad, and ugly. And I leave tomorrow morning, crack of dawn, for Malta, and one of our new television shows that we're going to start to shoot very soon.
Love it. Again, you ever need a production assistant, Peter, I'm your dude.
Well, just get out of the Four Seasons buffet and I'll take it.
All right, Peter Greenberg, invaluable insight to all things travel. He joins us Thursdays on the Mark Arum Show. Quick break. We'll be right back updating our top local stories, and we'll check in at the White House. The Prime Minister of the United Kingdom set to visit President Trump.
News.
Atlanta police on the lookout.
At the top and bottom of every hour.
2 people are dead and 19 others are injured after a small plane crashed.
And when it breaks.
Johnson with 218 votes right now, and it appears that would be enough to get him reelected House Speaker.
Check back 3, 4, 5 times a day.
95.5 WSB. Atlanta's breaking news station.
I'm consumer investigator Dale Cardwell. I've trusted America's Best Choice for more than a decade, and so can you.
For a limited time, get the best quality windows starting at just $299. Plus, act now and save 10% on all new decks. And enjoy great pricing on siding, roofing, fencing, motorized awnings, and more. Don't wait. Go to abcwin.com and schedule your free consultation. America's Best Choice. Quality you can trust. Prices you can afford.
It all started as a front door dream. You want those beautiful double doors for the front entrance of your home. But every company you talk to said that single door just can't go double. But with us, you can. Hi, I'm Dan Watkins, owner of All Four Seasons Garage and Entry Doors. We specialize in removing your dated single front door, side lights, and transom, replacing them with a beautiful double door, customized for that space to impress and welcome your guests. Get started at all4seasonsgarages.com.
Are the effects of diabetes, prostate cancer, hypertension, or high cholesterol robbing you of your ability to perform in the bedroom? Choice Men's Health can help you eliminate ED and get your bedroom performance back in just one visit. Choice Men's Health offers breakthrough treatments for ED and performance issues in the bedroom to help you regain your confidence and give you back the intimacy with your partner. Call Choice Men's Health right now to make an appointment and find out how you can eliminate ED on the first visit. Popular name brand pills like Viagra and Cialis don't work for everyone and can have serious side effects. Choice Men's Health custom medications work immediately, even if you have a medical history or think you're too old to perform like you used to. Choice Men's Health can help you have a fulfilling sex life again. Call Choice Men's Health today at 404-400-1170. That's 404-400-1170. Once again, that's 404-400-1170.
Dave Baker here for Ben Hill Renovations. Look, I know what's important to you when you're having some additions done to your house. You want the work done with quality workmanship, on time, within your budget, and built correctly. That's why I love Ben Hill Renovations, my deck experts. Getting a new deck from Ben Hill Renovations checks all the boxes. They've been building decks for over 60 years. Every project comes with a dedicated project manager and is properly built with future county and city code requirements in mind. Plus, Ben Hill Renovations offers many options, different styles, types of wood, color, and finishes. They can also build screened-in porches, outdoor living areas, multi-story wraparounds, pretty much anything you can imagine Ben Hill Renovations can do. And they're all backed by the Ben Hill Workmanship Warranty. Set up a design consultation or swing by the new Ben Hill Renovations showroom in Douglasville and talk to one of their designers or see them on the web at bhrenovations.com. Ben Hill Renovations, creating raving fans since 1964.
Owning a home means a lot of tough decisions, like who can I trust with the comfort of my family? Hey, it's Jared Yamamoto from the Von Hessler Doctrine for Guardian Home Experts. You know me, I'm an Atlanta guy, born and raised, but I'm not going to use a company just because my parents did or because I heard their name a lot. Heating, cooling, and plumbing options and pricing can be really complicated. So I did my research and I chose local, family-owned Guardian Home Experts. Over 5,000 five-star reviews, affordable options, high-quality work, and impeccable customer service. Get a new system with Guardian and Daikin to get up to a $1,450 instant rebate and 0% interest for up to 60 months. That's as low as $99 a month to own, not lease. Plus, Guardian offers a meet or beat price match guarantee up to $500. Details online. And here's my favorite part.
Call 470 experts. Guardian Home Experts.
Seems everything costs more these days. Gas, groceries, and when's the last time you checked your wireless bill? Yikes. When it comes to big wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Switch to Consumer Cellular and get the same fast, reliable nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill. Plans start at just $20 a month, and that's not a short-term promo. But don't just take our word for it. Here's Jackie and Veronica, real customers.
I didn't know that I could get something for a lot less money that was actually better than who I was with before.
Anytime anybody complains about their cell phone bill, we say, you've got to check out Consumer Cellular.
Our US-based experts will get you switched and saving in about 20 minutes. Just call or click to see how much you can save today. Because when it comes to big wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit ConsumerCellular.com. That's 1-888-FREEDOM or ConsumerCellular.com today. Real people paid to share their opinions in this ad. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing.
At 10:52 on the Mark Aram Show, let's check I-575 delays. Live with the latest, Ashley Frasca.
The brake lights are due to road work in the right lane, 575 south, right before Bells Ferry Road. Again, they're in that right lane, so delays begin before Highway 92. Also slow on the south side perimeter, the outer loop 285 eastbound underneath the airport because of road work on that eastbound ramp to 75 south in Clayton County. And still hanging out in the right lane, a crash on the west side, 285 south past South Cobb Drive. I'm Ashley Frasca, 95.5 WSB.
So I suppose some of that I give off a kind of an aura of being difficult or whatever, but I mean that is just kind of the way it happens, and that's what I require to do the work.
Gene Hackman talking about his method acting style in a 2001 interview. The legend has left us. 95 years old, in my opinion, the greatest American actor of all time. Getting some new information on the death of Hackman, his wife, and his dog from ABC's Jim Ryan.
So far, the only statement from the Santa Fe Sheriff's Office is a cryptic foul play is not suspected in the deaths of Gene Hackman and his wife, Betsy Arakawa. Sheriff Adon Mendoza noted in his email this morning that the couple's dog also was found dead in the home that Hackman and Arakawa had shared since the early 90s.
Unbelievable. And again, Young Yoki's pulled a bunch of Gene Hackman movie audio. I'm going to play it throughout the show. I do want to update. I made reference to this when we had Peter Greenberg on. His first major part was as Buck Barrow in Bonnie and Clyde. He was 37 years old. That was 37 when he gets his first big break in Hollywood. He was 48 years old when he played Lex Luthor in Superman. He was 56 years old when he famously played North and Dale in the basketball movie Hoosiers. Hackman grew up in Danville, Illinois, a dying mining town where his father was a printer. At age 16, Hackman became a Marine at 16. When he returned, he took TV at the University of Illinois and eventually left for Los Angeles and the Pasadena Playhouse. He was at that Pasadena Playhouse with Dustin Hoffman, who were voted least likely to succeed by his fellow castmates. Hackman said, quote, "I don't know why we deserve that or what they didn't see in us, but we moved into rooms together in New York with the attitude of blank them, and then I set out to prove them wrong." In 1964, he made it on Broadway, acting in a show that lasted just 3 days. Hackman told the AP in 1968, quote, "There were times when I thought I should quit, but I'd gone beyond the point where I couldn't have gone to any other line of work." I can relate to that. He worked in drugstores, sold furniture, pots and pans, and, of course, was a waiter. He later appeared in Any Sunday, where he was seen by Warren Beatty, who put him in the film Lilith, where the two had a 5-minute scene. In 1967, Hackman said he saw Beatty drive by him in L.A. Days later, Beatty called Hackman and cast him as Buck Barrow in Bonnie and Clyde, in which he was nominated for an Oscar. He was nominated again for the role in 1970, and at 42, won an Oscar for his role in The French Connection. Hackman once said, quote, "It could have been so much easier with a little help. It just seemed to take so long to make anything of myself. If you put your effort and concentration into playing your potential to be the best that you can be, I don't care what the scoreboard says at the end of the game. In my book, we're going to be winners." Hackman told his players that as Norman Dale in the Hoosiers. Gene Hackman, the greatest American actor of all time? I think so. Dead at the age of 95. All right, so if you're young like Vinny and Yoki, I'm giving you homework for this weekend. I believe all of these should be available on demand with Xfinity. Movies, my favorite Gene Hackman movie, French Connection. I loved his performance. I thought the movie was kind of weird and certainly not politically correct in these times. But that, I mean, he won his first Oscar for that. Unforgiven, though. Got to start with Unforgiven. Maybe one of the best movies of all time. Him and Clint Eastwood and Morgan Freeman. That's the top. You got to watch that first. Other ones I suggest, Get Shorty. He plays movie producer Harry Zim. Perhaps my favorite Hackman performance, because he can play someone evil and then he can play someone sleazy, and it's just as believable. So Get Shorty is the second film I want you to watch this weekend. Runaway Jury's a good one. No, not yet. That's not homework. Royal Tenenbaums. I want you to watch that. It's a funky movie. Really great acting by Hackman. Hoosiers. Definitely watch Hoosiers. And finally, No Way Out with Kevin Costner. That's your homework for the youngins out there that have no idea who Gene Hackman was. The greatest American actor of our lifetimes. Dead at the age of 95. If we do get any updates on his passing, his wife's passing, and his dog's passing, we will, of course, update you here on 95.5 WSB. And I'm going to play some Hackman audio throughout the show. And if you missed it, I asked Kevin Costner a few years back about what it was like working with Gene Hackman in No Way Out. I'll replay that audio as well. The big story, though, up in D.C., the UK Prime Minister meeting with President Trump. And tomorrow, Vladimir Zelensky is going to meet with the leader of the free world. We'll update those stories and a crazy story involving a storage unit. They're shady to begin with. We'll explain next on The Mark Arum Show.
Hey, folks, it's Shelley Winter here. You know, sometimes they make fun of me around the office because I doze off at my desk while doing show prep. Well, you know why that happened? It's because of a lack of sleep. I have sleep apnea. So if you snore or have sleep apnea also, you're not living life to the fullest. So listen up. I know you're tired, but in all seriousness, this is important. My friends over at Palmetto Sleep are changing lives with a custom-fit oral appliance that stops your snoring and treats sleep apnea. I'm not talking about something you buy out of a supermarket. This is a custom made for your mouth and covered by your private medical insurance. What I love most is that they do everything from the diagnosis to the delivery of the oral appliance and everything in between. They even provide a take-home sleep study and virtual consults. If you're ready for a great night's sleep, you are ready for Palmetto Sleep. Go to palmettosleep.com. That's palmettosleep.com right now. Don't suffer from another sleepless night. palmettosleep.com.
Hey, it's Scott Slade for my roofer, FGA Roofing. If your neighbor's designer roof has caught your eye, search FGA Roofing. And for a limited time, get $1,000 off your final quote if you mention you heard about it on the radio. Search FGA Roofing. That's FGA Roofing. And ask about 0% financing.
Got a leaky pipe? Ace Hardware Home Services is around the corner with everything you need to fix it, including the expert to do the fixing. Heating or cooling issue? We've got a trusted pro for that, too. We're not just the helpful hardware folks. We're the helpful home service and repair folks, too. From plumbing to heating and cooling, the licensed and insured experts at Ace Hardware Home Services are ready to keep your home running smoothly all year long. Get help today at aceHardwareHomeservices.com.
WSB Atlanta, WSB FM, and HD1 Doraville. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
It's Home Show time! The Atlanta Home Show is Friday, March 7th through Sunday the 9th at the Cobb Galleria Center. The Atlanta Home Show, full of great deals, new ideas, and practical advice. Get your tickets online now at atlantahomeshow.com. Use Baker in the promo code and save 50%.
News, weather,
traffic. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Good morning. It's 11 o'clock. I'm Sabrina Cupid. A disturbing story this morning of domestic violence from Cobb County. A jury convicting a man responsible for setting a fire that killed the mother and grandmother of his girlfriend.
32-year-old Robert Colt Smith is found guilty of 2 counts of felony murder and first-degree arson for setting a fire that killed 52-year-old Andrea Nall and 74-year-old Michelle LaCroix. Smith also found guilty of aggravated battery and aggravated assault for brutally beating Nall's daughter prior to the fire. In a statement, District Attorney Sonia Allen calls this case a tragic reminder of how domestic violence can escalate to devastating consequences. Superior Court Judge Kelly Hill sentencing Smith to 2 life sentences plus 20 years. Graham Carroll, 95.5 WSB.
Your weather for today. It's going to be mostly cloudy, breezy. A stray shower is possible today with a high around 68, says WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. She'll have Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast straight ahead. An elderly man has been found dead after a brush fire in Hull County. Firefighters say they found the victim's body in the woods off Claude Parks Road after the man had started the fire to burn brush on his property. A witness telling investigators the flames became uncontrollable, and when fire crews arrived, 3 acres of that property fully involved. Forestry officials helped put out the fire. The man's cause of death still under investigation by the Hull County Sheriff's Office. Update on that chemical fire last September at the Conyers Biolab plant. We've learned the company continued to pay all of its workers as normal for the past 5 months, even though the plant was destroyed. Now they're offering voluntary severance to workers. Those who don't take the package would continue to be paid as normal. Also, they're offering some employees jobs at another Conyers Biolab facility, along with facilities that they have in other states. A discrimination lawsuit against the Cobb County Fire Department has now been dropped by the Justice Department.
It was part of a series of lawsuits filed by former Attorney General Merrick Garland against police and fire departments in several states, including Georgia, North Carolina, and Maryland. Cobb Fire was accused of discriminating against black applicants because it checked credit reports, used a standardized test that was found to be biased. Proposed settlement in the case was rejected last month by a federal judge, and now the suit's been dropped. Current Attorney General Pam Bondi says the lawsuits were unjust and only served what she calls a DEI agenda. Judd Higginbotham, 95.5 WSB.
Some changes are coming to the U.S. Postal Service as it continues with a series of plans meant to cut costs. The Postal Service saying that the changes to its standards will lead to at least $36 billion in savings over 10 years. Postal workers will be able to start routes earlier and travel further when delivering mail. They also say the majority of the mail and packages that they carry will remain unchanged, but select pieces will see faster or slower service depending on the location. And now jobs, a new sign the economy may be softening. Weekly jobless claims jumped to 242,000. That's an increase of 22,000 from the prior week and more than what was expected. Weekly jobless claims are now at their highest level since early December. As we take a look at your money, the Dow is currently up 321 at 43,754. NASDAQ is down, and so is the S&P. It's time now for live team coverage of traffic and weather. We say good morning to Alex Williams.
Hey, good morning, Sabrina. Not good in Cobb County. Traffic red alert. Bad crash. Truck carrying pallets is smashed into the back of a big rig. All lanes are completely shut down. I-75 southbound, Delk Road, exit 261. That is already quickly jamming the ride up back through Marietta. That means using Highway 41, Cobb Parkway. You can use Powers Ferry Road or the express lanes if you have a Peach Pass. And if you're coming down 575 out of Woodstock, heads up for that travel advisory due to that construction. 575 southbound before Bells Ferry Road, exit number 4. Looks like that left lane crash, 285 southbound, the outer loop past South Cobb Drive, exit 15 has cleared. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
I'm WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. Mostly cloudy but dry today as a cold front moves through. Daytime high 68. Wind gusts as high as 25 miles per hour. Clear and cool for tonight. Lows in the upper 30s, low 40s. Tomorrow, sunshine, high 65.
64 degrees in Kennesaw, 66 in Forest Park. Milton has 64 degrees. We'll have more news at 11:30. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
No, I run this town to be near you. Tell me. No! Tell me who it is! It's not a pig like you!
No way out. Gene Hackman, Kevin Costner. Welcome back to the Mark Arum Show at 11:04. We are monitoring the White House right now. The Prime Minister of United Kingdom set to meet with President Donald Trump. In case you're just joining us, Gene Hackman has passed away at the age of 95. I'm going to play a bit of audio that when I interviewed Kevin Costner a few years back about his experience in No Way Out, working with Kevin Costner. Via the Piccadilly text line, I forgot to mention this from JR. How about Crimson Tide? Gene Hackman and Denzel in a power struggle. Great call, JR. I forgot. Crimson Tide. Put that on your list, Vinny. You got to watch that this weekend. Before I go to D.C., though, Deborah Green joins us with just lay out this storage unit story, and I'll react to it when you're done telling us about it.
Okay, so this is a couple. I guess they were having a fight, and she said, hey, come to the storage unit with me. I need to get something out of the back. Oh, it's way, way there in the back, all the way in the back. So he gets back there. She slams the doors, double locks it, leaves him in there. And I guess he was in there for about a week. No lights on or anything, so he couldn't find his phone. It took him about a week to find his phone before he was able to call 911 and say, I've been locked in a storage unit. That is harsh.
That's unbelievable. And I've had a storage unit. I got to get rid of this thing. I've been paying for this storage unit for 20 years. And obviously there's nothing in there that I need because I never get stuff out of it. That's another story. But they're shady. I mean, there's some nice new ones, but the one I'm at is shady. Like these storage units, they're just shady operations. And have you been watching Will Trent, Deborah, on ABC?
Yes, I love Will Trent.
So in one of the episodes, not a spoiler, but this guy kidnaps these women and puts them in a storage unit. And like all of these CIA shows, like storage units are used for dastardly things. I've heard of actual people living in storage units that can't. Just be careful. Bring a friend if you're going to the storage unit. That's insane. But the guy's okay?
Yeah, he was able to call 911. They came and got him out. They took him to the hospital, a little dehydrated, but no other injury. And they did arrest his girlfriend. They were able to find her and arrest her.
All right, there. Thank you, Deborah. Be safe at the storage units. All right, Jeff Zeleny at the White House right now talking about the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom meeting with President Trump.
If this sounds familiar, it should, because this is something the president threatened a month ago, but then in the final hours put a reprieve on tariffs on Mexico and Canada. He says that that 30-day reprieve is going to be over next week on March 4th. He intends to levy these tariffs. Of course, there are big concerns what that would do for the auto industry, big concerns what that would do for the economy overall. A tariff is a tax, of course, that is paid on people who use the goods. So that, of course, is American. So we shall see if these tariffs go into effect. He says they will, but I recall a month ago he also said they would and gave them a last-minute deal. Interestingly, though, the date of March 4th, next Tuesday, it would be the day that he is scheduled to give his first joint address to the House and Senate. Basically a new president's version of the State of the Union address. So it'll be interesting to see if he uses that speech as a moment to talk about these tariffs. But as for now, at least, the president is once again threatening tariffs on the neighbors to the north and the south of the United States.
All right, Jeff Zeleny at the White House just moments ago. Again, will tariffs be discussed by Prime Minister Starmer and President Trump? They will certainly be discussing the security concerns and guarantees between the United States and Ukraine if they're doing that rare earth mineral deal. Again, so all eyes in D.C. today and tomorrow. Tomorrow's going to be it's remarkable that this is going to be happening. Ukrainian President Zelensky traveling to D.C. for a meeting tomorrow with President Trump. This is Alex Marquardt in D.C. right now.
Western Europe has changed for good. We've seen President Zelensky get a little bit aggressive about what he wants from the Trump administration. I'm not sure that works with President Trump, but at the same time, President Zelensky knows President Trump very well. He understands that President Trump likes flattery, so I think we can expect to see a lot of that on display tomorrow, and he understands that President Trump is transactional, and I think that's where the origin of this minerals deal really comes from, and it was offered, it was put on the table by President Zelensky before Trump even took office. But it is clear that Zelensky thinks that he can give President Trump a win, and President Trump can say, we have struck a deal that is beneficial to not just Ukraine, but to the United States as well. And I think a key component here is President Zelensky wanted to make sure that he was the first one to meet with President Trump ahead of President Putin. We have heard Trump say that he plans to meet with Putin at some point. It was rumored for this week. Of course, that isn't happening. So this is going to be a win in Zelensky's book, that he gets to meet with President Trump first. He gets to sign this deal. But of course, he's not getting those assurances. He's not getting those guarantees from the American administration. That's something else that he's going to be working on with President Trump tomorrow.
Alex Marquardt live in D.C. A couple of big days. Again, the UK Prime Minister today, Vladimir Zelensky tomorrow. I think that the big headline out of the cabinet meeting yesterday was that President Trump admitted that Russia is going to have to, give something up in these peace negotiations. So they're not going to get a free ride. We'll continue to monitor that. All right, from D.C. to Atlanta, I'll tell you what D.C. and Atlanta have in common. 0 In-N-Out burgers. Have you ever had an In-N-Out burger, Vinny, on your trips to Vegas or L.A. or anything?
No.
Nope. They're legendary, animal style. Every time I go to Vegas or L.A., I stop at In-N-Out. Now, the urban legend was that they won't go farther east than like Denver because they don't want to ship their fresh beef. They can't logistically do it. That might have just blown up, Deborah, because In-N-Out now planning to move their corporate headquarters from where to where?
All right, so obviously based out of California, and it's a California thing if you've ever gone out there, they're making huge waves because they're going to relocate their headquarters to Tennessee. And this is the second time this has happened this week. KFC just picked up, moved to Texas. Same thing happening with In-N-Out, leaving California, moving to Tennessee.
I'm assuming
big deal for the In-N-Out fans.
Oh yeah, I'm assuming it's because of taxes in California, and it'll be an easier
taxes.
Taxes, not Texas. But what does that mean? Because does that mean that they In-N-Out now, since they were in Tennessee, that we could start seeing In-N-Out burgers east of the Mississippi River?
Well, I know that there are some as far as Texas, but I think that's as far as they go. But, I mean, they're going to have to open one up in Tennessee, right? Like, you got to encourage your staff to, hey, at least eat the product.
Yeah, and I do enjoy it. I every time, again, I'll land. This was, before Uber, but every time I would land in Vegas and take the taxi from the airport before the hotel, I'm like, stop at In-N-Out Burger. And I tell the cabbie, I'll buy you a burger. So we'd stop there and get it. I know some people call them overrated and expensive, but I think they're really, really good. There was a sick prank played, I think, in East Atlanta a couple weeks ago. Someone put up a fake sign, In-N-Out Burger coming here. Did you see that, Vin?
Oh, God, yeah.
And people went nuts in a good way, and it turned out to be fake news. But maybe now, with In-N-Out Burger moving their headquarters to Tennessee, we could see a plethora of In-N-Out burgers east of the Mississippi, and maybe some here in Metro Atlanta. Listen, we're quickly becoming the burger capital of the world. We got Deborah's favorite Culver's here. Whataburger, Longoria's favorite. In-N-Out Burger may be coming now. Just in time for, what did you say, Deborah? The swine flu, the mad cow disease, all the
Yeah, swine flu.
All the animal stuff. All right, so good news if you're a fan of In-N-Out Burger. Not good news yet, but signs of good news. Quick break. We'll come back, update our top local stories. Social media is active throughout the broadcast at Mark Arum and at WSB Radio.
Everyone has an opinion.
Your baby is ugly.
Eric Von Hessler has an opinion.
I abhor violence, unless it's on the football field where it belongs.
And some advice.
A meme coin, of course, something I don't really understand. Don't ever buy one. There you go. I just gave you some great advice.
Eric Von Hessler, today at 3.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Hey folks, it's Belinda. What you got planned this weekend? Come on out to the Lakewood 400 Antique Market this Friday through Sunday and coming. More than 500 booths with everything you can imagine. 1321 Atlanta Highway. Visit LakewoodAntiques.com.
I was sitting on the couch in my living room during the recent Arctic blast, and I was freezing. Hey, it's Mark Arum here. Window draft, unacceptable. I started to freak out, and then I remembered, hey, Dr. Roof does windows and siding. They've been doing it for over 25 years, and I can buy now and pay later. Yes, I can get my windows fixed by the best in the biz at Dr. Roof, and I can buy now and pay later. If you have window issues, roofing issues, call or go online for an appointment right now. Dr. Roof, for all your roofing, siding, and window needs.
Men, trouble in the bedroom? Not anymore. Priority Men's Medical Center restores your love life in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE. Here's a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Simovitz. Have Viagra or Cialis let you down? Priority Men's Medical Center offers the most effective treatments that eliminate ED and PE, with men lasting longer than ever. 98% of patients see instant results on their first visit.
Priority Men's Medical Center's breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. Your consultation and first treatment are free. You'll see instant results in the office. Plus, qualified patients get their testosterone checked free. Call 404-885-8885. 404-885-8885. To restore your love life in just one visit, call now. 404-885-8885.
Hey everyone, it's your buddy Shelley Winter here. Join me this Saturday at noon for the Car Guys with Kevin Deutsch from Butler Lexus of South Atlanta. Buy or lease, fix or sell, everything you want to know about cars, we will cover Saturday noon to 1 right here on 95.5 WSB.
I'm here with Chris Hoffman, the founder of Hoffman Financial Group, to discuss one of the biggest blind spots that people face when saving for retirement, and it's a head scratcher. Chris, how do so many people not know what they're invested in?
That's the biggest flaw that everybody runs into. They think they know what equities they have, they think they know what bonds they have, but they really don't know how those mutual funds or how those index funds are performing in conjunction with one another. So, I would liken this to a big pot of soup, and we're just throwing all the ingredients in the refrigerator in this thing. It's not very good. It's just a mishmash of stuff. And sometimes you like the way it tastes. Sometimes you don't. And when you don't know why. You don't know if you got too much chicken in there or too much vegetables in there or what's going on. And I ask every caller that comes in for an initial consultation, do you know how your portfolio is broken down? And they say, well, I've got, 20 or so options in my 401k, and I just picked 2 of them or 3 of them. I thought I needed some international. I thought I needed some U.S. equities. I thought I needed some bonds. And they're just guessing. So you have to absolutely know what you're invested in, and that's where we will run the 401k portfolio x-ray for you, because that'll break it down. If you're not proficient at investing and don't understand this world, we will walk you through it. Not knowing what you're invested in is a big hindrance to growing and protecting your money. We will run a portfolio x-ray for you and educate you on exactly what's in your portfolio.
Set up a time to get your complimentary portfolio x-ray today. Call the Hoffman Financial Group at 404-737-3858. That's 404-737-3858, or book online at unleashyourmoney.com. Investment advisory services offered through Brookstone Wealth Advisors, a registered investment advisor. Insurance and annuities offered through Hoffman Financial Group Incorporated, Georgia Insurance License number 163546.
Spring cleaning is creeping up, so get a head start by calling Zero Res Air Duct Cleaning. You'd be surprised by the amount of dust, dander, and allergens sitting in your duct system and circulating in your home. Zero Res is the only company I trust to get my home insanely clean. Right now, mention me, Chris Chandler, and you'll get $75 off your next air duct cleaning. Use promo code AIR75 when scheduling online at ZeroResAtlanta.com. That's ZeroResAtlanta.com.
Dave Baker here for Ben Hill Renovations. I know what's important to you when you're looking for a new deck. You want the work done with quality workmanship, on time, within your budget, and built correctly. Getting a new deck from Ben Hill Renovations checks all the boxes. And when it comes to new decks, pretty much anything you can imagine, Ben Hill can do. And they're all backed by the Ben Hill Workmanship Warranty. Swing by the new Ben Hill Renovations showroom in Douglasville and talk to one of their designers. Or see them on the web at bhrenovations.com. Ben Hill Renovations, creating raving fans since 1964.
11:18 on the Mark Arum Show. Bad news. Cobb County traffic red alert. I-75 live with the latest. Alex Williams.
Yeah, not a good scene here, Mark. One of those pickup trucks hauling a bunch of those wooden pallets smashed into the back of this big rig. They got all lanes completely shut down. 75 southbound Delk Road, exit 261, already stacked up back to Highway 5, the Canton Road connector, also causing northbound onlooker delays. If you're coming southbound out of Kennesaw, think about using Highway 41, Cobb Parkway, Powers Ferry. Express lanes are still southbound. You can use those with a Peach Pass to avoid that. Also, coming out of Woodstock into Kennesaw, you still got that right lane construction, 575 southbound Bells Ferry Road, exit 4. Traffic brought to you by Whole Foods Market. Shop at Whole Foods Market. Save 33% on Rayo's soups, pastas, frozen items, and 24-ounce pasta sauces with Prime through March 4th while supplies last. Shop in-store or online. Terms apply. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
I'm talking about you, Ray Barboni, owning a piece of a major motion picture. How much of a piece is entirely up to you. What I'm saying is you could invest part of the $300,000 that Palmer owes you, or all of it. It's entirely up to you.
I'm brokenhearted. Gene Hackman passed away at the age of 95, and his wife and his dog. If we get more information on the passing, the tragic passing of the greatest American actor of all time, we will bring you updates here on WSB Radio. I already know what I'm going to do this weekend. I'm going to turn on Netflix or Amazon Prime or Xfinity On Demand and watch all the Gene Hackman movies I can. That's Get Shorty, by the way. Classic. John Travolta, Danny DeVito. The guy, James Gandolfini is in it before he was Tony Soprano. Such a good movie. I'm not sure if it's on Netflix. This is crazy, though. Did you know that Netflix now is no longer the top streaming service? Who has supplanted Netflix atop the streaming service list, Deborah Green?
Yeah, Netflix has always been kind of number one, first aboard, first to come up with original content. But now it looks like some of these other bundles are really gaining. And in fact, the Disney Plus Hulu Max bundle, that's all one company. Now that is the number one streaming platform over Netflix.
So does that count, though? All right, so you have Netflix. It's just Netflix, right? It's one. That's one thing. Who's the streaming bundle? That's like a bunch of different services. What did you say was in that?
It's Disney Plus. So it's Disney Plus with Hulu and Max. They're all owned by ABC, so that's why they put them all together. Yeah. But yeah, Disney, Hulu, Max, which is, I watch that more than Netflix.
Do you?
Yeah, I watch Paramount and then probably Max and Apple before I'll watch Peacock or Netflix. I don't even have Netflix right now.
Oh, to me, Netflix is the first one I go to. It's
really over Paramount Plus?
Yes, because the app is so much easier to use. It's so user friendly. It knows me. The algorithm gets me. I probably Prime is second, simply because Downton Abbey's on there. But that's a cumbersome app. But, Paramount Plus, all the good shows that you and I liked on there, and then Hulu. But that's
Apple. Are you getting into Apple now?
I try, but it keeps logging me off, and then Maya's got to log us in. Netflix is, to me, is the best designed of the streaming app. But I'm still calling Netflix number one because it took 3 different apps to get more viewers than Netflix: Disney, Hulu, and Max. That's a 3 against 1. This isn't the WWE, like a steel cage match. So Netflix is still top dog to me, and the Wall Street has been enjoying Netflix rise too. Their stock has been going up. Netflix number 1. Do have an update. Can we get the breaking news sounder, Vinny, on this? we're going to go to our youngest fast food correspondent, Young Gnocchi, following up on the In-N-Out Burger moving.
Where is
from California to Tennessee? What did your sources tell you, Gnocchi?
So according to the Tennessean, the company has proposed to build 2 restaurants in Wilson County, 2 in Davidson County, and 1 on-site restaurant at the Franklin corporate hub.
All right, so your source was a newspaper. That's fine. I was trying to sell it like you had people behind the scenes. But so there will be. All right, so Tennessee first. Georgia next for the In-N-Out Burger. Let's go back up to Alex Marquardt, security expert in D.C., as we await the meeting between President Trump and the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom.
The Prime Minister's trying to move the ball forward. And, of course, I agree with our esteemed colleague, Jeff Zeleny, that this is the second part of this 3-part series of these European leaders coming to the White House this week. They're essentially all on a joint campaign to try to get President Trump to stick with Ukraine, to continue the security assistance for Ukraine. And, of course, the big question about security guarantees. Now, the Brits, of course, have their own unique interests. There will be a lot of discussions about the economy, about trade, about tech, but Ukraine really is the issue of the hour. And I've been told by British officials that Prime Minister Starmer does want to get into some specifics with the Trump administration. Essentially, Starmer is taking the baton from President Macron just a few days ago. Both of these men want what they're calling a backstop from the Trump administration. If and when there is a peace deal between Russia and Ukraine, what would that look like in terms of a deterrent force on the ground to make sure that Russia does not invade Ukraine again? Starmer and Macron have talked about boots on the ground, some 30,000 troops that they could put into Ukraine as peacekeepers. We have heard President Trump say very clearly he does not want U.S. troops in harm's way. So the big question now, is there anything else that Starmer and Macron can convince Trump to do in terms of American assistance that would help with that backstop, as they're calling it? Could there be long-range missiles that are positioned, for example, in Poland? Are there big planes, transportation aircraft? Is there intelligence that the U.S. can offer? So this is going to be a British effort to try to get assurances from the American president that we have not yet heard, because Trump has been very averse to committing anything. We have this big minerals deal that's going to be signed between President Zelensky and Trump tomorrow, but the U.S. is making very clear there is nothing in that deal that guarantees American security assistance. So there's a lot of work on the European front that still needs to be done with the Trump administration.
CNN security analyst Alex Marquardt just moments ago in D.C. Big meeting today and tomorrow with President Trump and more world leaders. Quick update from the Piccadilly text line. The best meteorologist around, Christina Edwards, updating the In-N-Out story. Wilson, Davidson counties are in Tennessee, or the Nashville County areas. Franklin, Tennessee, also a suburb of Nashville. It's like having a headquarter in Alpharetta. So In-N-Out Burger is coming to Nashville effectively. First Nash Vegas, then Atlanta. Very excited. When we come back after news, weather, and traffic, more on the president's meeting with the world leaders. The president puts forth an egg plan. And what did Kevin Costner have to tell me about working with the legend Gene Hackman? So much more to come. Stay with us, friends. It's the Mark Arum Show on WSB.
Hey, it's Shelley Winter here for my good friends at PalmettoSleep.com. Let's talk about a serious business, sleep apnea. I suffer from it, and whether you've been diagnosed with it or afraid you have it, I have the solution. Palmetto Sleep is here to give you your life back. They make it easy to get help for sleep apnea because living without a good night's sleep is simply no way to live. Palmetto Sleep offers a custom-fitted oral appliance that opens your airway so you naturally breathe the way nature intended. The best part is they offer virtual consultations and in-home sleep testing. No overnight stays at a sleep center. Plus, Palmetto Sleep has all the doctors that you will need. Most appointments are virtual, and it's all covered by your private medical insurance. Don't suffer from another sleepless night or daytime fatigue like I do. Visit PalmettoSleep.com now. Visit PalmettoSleep.com. That's PalmettoSleep.com.
You wouldn't know it, but most financial advisors are put in a box. I'm Jeff Jr. from Trajan Wealth, and I want to provide you a little insight about financial advisors. Most financial advisors have to sell what their company requires them to sell, and many advisors have to only adhere to what's called a suitability standard. A suitability standard is a limited standard of care, not requiring what's sold to be best, just suitable. Advisors with this loose standard often have limited investment and product selection. Trajan Wealth is held to a fiduciary standard, which is the highest standard of care in the advisory business. And that's just one of the many reasons we have billions of dollars under our care and attract clients from other advisors. Raise your standards today and call Trajan Wealth. 404-390-4000. That's 404-390-4000. Or visit us at TrajanWealth.com.
Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor.
February is Heart Health Month, and there's no better time to take care of your heart. This is Scott Slade. It's the perfect month to call Virtual Imaging and get your free heart scan to help you stay ahead of heart disease before you even know there's a problem. You've been hearing us talk about how Virtual Imaging's free heart scan can save lives. Heart disease is the leading cause of death in the United States, and any problem with your heart that you can detect early means you have a better chance of living a longer life. Call Virtual Imaging today and get your free heart scan. What are you waiting for? Call 770-678-SCAN. It's quick, painless, and you'll get a clear picture of your heart's health so you know where you stand. And it's a great way to mark Heart Health Month. Don't wait until it's too late. Call Virtual Imaging now and schedule your free heart scan with a few minimum requirements. It's quick, easy, and could save your life. I've done it. Call 770-678-SCAN. That's 770-678-SCAN. Because your heart deserves it. If not for yourself, do it for your family.
The following is a paid commercial announcement.
As a trucker, I know how challenging these last 4 years have been. I'm Congressman Mike Collins, and I've been hitting the road listening to Georgians across my district. Please know that help is on the way, and follow along at collins.house.gov.
Paid for with official funds from the Office of Representative Mike Collins.
Hey, this is Congressman Mike Collins. I'm fighting every day for America First policies in Washington, and I want to hear from you about how we can make our country better. Reach out at collins.house.gov and let me know.
Paid for with official funds from the Office of Representative Mike Collins.
Ready to upgrade your drive? Butler Lexus of South Atlanta has incredible offers on new and pre-owned Lexus vehicles. With complimentary rentals and service perks, your experience will be second to none. Don't miss out. Schedule a test drive by calling 1-800-NEW-LEXUS.
Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News,
weather,
traffic. 95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's News and Talk.
It's 11:30. Good morning. I'm Sabrina Cupid. This news sponsored by Rocco's European Garage. A traffic mess right now in Cobb County. This is on I-75 South at Delk Road. Alex Williams in the WSB 24-hour traffic center. What is going on?
Yeah, nasty crash here, Sabrina. One of those pickup trucks hauling a bunch of pallets hit the back end of a tractor trailer, and they have shut down the entire southbound side of I-75 southbound at Delk Road, exit 261. Already stacked up back to Highway 5, exit 267, the Canton Road connector. Few of your alternates are going to be Highway 41, Cobb Parkway, Powers Ferry Road as well. That's just east of I-75. Or with a Peach Pass, the express lanes are still pointed southbound, so you can use that as well. Sabrina?
All right, thanks, Alex. Your weather for today, not too bad at all. Mostly cloudy, breezy. Afternoon highs close to 70, 68 degrees, says WSB meteorologist Christina Edwards. She says there is a slight chance of a stray shower later on today. We'll have Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast coming up in just over 2 minutes. We have an update now on the death of actor Gene Hackman. Alex Stone says Hackman, his wife, and their dog all found dead in Santa Fe in their home there, and what they're looking at this morning.
Well, the Santa Fe County Sheriff's Department is releasing surprisingly little, except to say that Gene Hackman, his wife, and dog are dead and that there is no foul play. Law enforcement experts say carbon monoxide has to be looked at if there are no signs of foul play. We know it had been cold in the area. We checked and electricity had stayed on, but carbon monoxide coming from a heater or a fireplace could always be an issue.
And we have just gotten word that the gas company is indeed assisting in the investigation into the death of Hackman and his wife. We'll bring you the findings as soon as they come in. Could air taxis be coming soon? Well, the State House has approved a bill to allow for the construction of landing zones for air taxis here.
Imagine flying above Atlanta traffic. That's the vision of one East Georgia company, and one lawmaker wants to make sure they can get things off the ground.
We're bringing George Jetson to life.
Representative Todd Jones's bill authorizes the DOT to oversee construction of the so-called vertiports, which serve as landing areas and charging stations for the air taxis. He says modes of transportation are changing rapidly.
We're going to be using artificial intelligence, you name it, to be able to get people more efficiently, more effectively.
The bill now awaits final approval in the state Senate. From the state capitol, Jonathan O'Brien, 95.5 WSB.
Amazon's Alexa is getting an artificial intelligence update. It works with apps and the sound of your voice. Alexa Plus will provide customized services on things like grocery orders and even making dinner reservations for you. The CEO of Amazon telling Good Morning America what makes the service different.
Most of the chatbots out there today can answer questions, but they can't really take actions like Alexa can.
There is a cost, though, $19.99 a month. It's expected to be available early next month. President Trump saying Mexico and Canada tariffs will start March 4th. He also says China will be slapped with an additional 10% tariff on that same date. As we take a look at the markets, the Dow's currently up 355 at 43,800. So the Dow's up almost a full percent. Nasdaq's down 0.5%, and the S&P is in positive territory, but only slightly. It's time now for live team coverage of traffic and weather. Let's go back to Alex Williams with another look at your roads.
Red alert continues in Marietta, Cobb County. 75 southbound, nasty crash has it completely shut down at Delk Road, exit 261. Delays already growing back toward 575. That means using Highway 41, Cobb Parkway as an alternate. If you're coming out of Marietta, you can also use Powers Ferry Road. Another option is to use the express lanes if you have that Peach Pass. Those are still pointed in the southbound direction. Elsewhere, before that, 575 southbound still slow between Highway 92 and Bells Ferry due to construction. And the earlier crash we had, it was in a center lane, 85 northbound, right around the Buford Spring Connector, exit 86. That is cleared, so delays out of Midtown are improving. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
This is WSB meteorologist Christina Upwards. Cloudy skies today, breezy, high 68, wind gusts as high as 25 miles per hour, lows tonight in the upper 30s, low 40s. Tomorrow, sunshine, high 65, a touch warmer on Saturday with sunny skies, morning low 47, afternoon high 70.
65 degrees in Sandy Springs and Douglasville. Sugar Hill has 66 degrees. We'll have more news at noon, breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
Stay connected to Atlanta's news, weather, and traffic with the 95.5 WSB app. Listen to Atlanta's morning news. EVH, Eric Erickson, Mark Aram, and Shelley Winter. No matter where you go, 95.5 WSB and the WSB app. Download it today or find us in the iHeart and Odyssey apps.
In just over 1 month, illegal border crossings have plummeted.
President Trump had a plan for the border. Now he has a plan for the eggs. We'll discuss the plan next on the Mark Aram Show.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-2798. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-2798. That's 800-575-2798. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Attention men, are you suffering from ED or PE? Here's an important message from Choice Men's Health.
I'm Dr. Katz and I'm the Chief Medical Director at Choice Men's Health. Are you performing the way you want to in the bedroom? If the answer is no and you've tried Viagra, Cialis, and Levitra and were disappointed, then you need to come see us immediately. If you don't see results on the first visit, then there's no charge. Many of our patients have medical conditions such as diabetes, hypertension, obesity, and prostate problems. I'm happy to say that we have 98% success rate with all our patients. Our customized solutions will allow you to perform within 10 minutes and last an hour and even longer. You can regain your love life and tackle your ED and PE problems. Guys, your partner will never complain again. Our clinic has the most affordable prices, so if you visit other clinics and you're not completely satisfied, then you need to call Choice Men's Health.
Regain your love life regardless of your age or medical history. Choice Men's Health guarantees results on your first visit or you pay nothing. Call now. 404-400-1170. That's 404-400-1170.
He packed in animals 2 by 2, ox, a camel, and a kangaroo.
11:37 on this really beautiful Thursday morning. Welcome back, friends. Mark Aram and crew with you till noon. 69 degrees in Midtown. Nice. We're going to update President Trump's plan to fight the egg shortage and the egg price increase in just a second. But first, Deborah Green has an amazing pair of tickets to give away.
Yeah, it's festival season, so how about a pair of tickets to Outlaw Fest? This is Willie Nelson, Bob Dylan, and a whole bunch of others, July 25th at Ameris Bank Amphitheater.
All right, going to take it easy on Yokes. We'll do the 10th caller, Nyoki. 10th caller to 404-872-0750. 10th caller to 404-872-0750 wins a pair of tickets to the Outlaw Fest. Willie Dylan, Say No More, 404-872-0750. Tomorrow morning, we'll have one more pair to give away. If we can squeeze it into all the busyness tomorrow we expect in the news, including Vladimir Zelensky, the president of Ukraine, coming to the White House, meeting with President Trump to sign that important rare earth minerals deal. All right, speaking of President Trump, joining us from NYC, ABC News correspondent Peter Haralambous. Peter, good morning. Huge national story, I know, but definitely here locally is the egg shortage. In fact, even my beloved Waffle House still doing that 50-cent egg surcharge on any eggs purchased there. Denny's followed suit. President Trump's administration, though, has laid out a $1 billion plan to fight the egg shortage and the prices of eggs. What exactly does that plan look like?
Yeah, so this is the Trump administration's first plan of attack to handle these surging egg prices. They're investing nearly $1 billion in biodiversity measures, biosecurity, vaccines for chickens, importing hundreds of millions of eggs from other countries, hoping that over time this will start to stem the cost of these surging and at times historic egg prices.
Talk about, the importing there. I saw a story last week that Turkey, of all countries, is sending us just a crazy amount of eggs. Are there any other countries that we will be looking to for egg supplies, and could tariffs perhaps impact the eggs coming into the United States?
No, that's a great point, especially because at the end of the day, egg production, poultry in the United States is such a strong part of the economy. And fundamentally, this idea of relying on other countries could hurt American farmers. But for now, at the end of the day, because the consumer is being so impacted here, the Trump administration is prioritizing kind of increasing a lot of that egg importing from other countries, finding new countries to potentially import from. But what's interesting here is it's unclear at this point whether or not that's going to make a difference in the egg price. There's just simply too much demand and not enough supply. A lot of experts are looking at this proposal from the Trump administration and saying, while it's helpful, it's not enough to start stemming that surging price.
Peter Haralambous from ABC News joining us on the Mark Aram Show. I know there's inflationary, factors on this, but the big factor is the bird flu, right? Just the mass killing of hens that have caught the bird flu. Do we have any idea how depleted our chicken supply is that's leading to the lack of eggs?
It's pretty bad. I mean, I spoke to an expert from Urner Barry. That's the entity that basically sets the wholesale price of eggs yesterday. And she described this as basically astronomical in terms of the scope of how big this problem is. The fact that, generally speaking, if you look at the number of chickens needed to supply the American economy, we are magnitudes from that number. And in the long term, it's not even clear that once the supply is fixed, once we increase the amount of chickens and eggs back in the United States system, whether or not the price will actually go down. If we look back at 2022, the last time the bird flu really wrecked the agricultural sector, even after the wholesale price of egg went down significantly, it took a long time for the actual retailers and these egg producers to actually adjust their prices. At the end of the day, they began to try to recoup a lot of the losses. And even though there was a supply kind of resurgence and the issue with the bird flu kind of resolved itself in the short term, consumers didn't see that reflected on their grocery bill, at their checks, at restaurants because the prices stayed high.
Here in Atlanta, the general consensus among my colleagues in the newsroom, eggs hovering around $7.50 a dozen. You're based in New York City. Do I even want to ask what eggs cost in New York City right now?
It's terrible, I have to say. I mean, I was at a bodega yesterday where they were charging $12 to $14 for a single carton of eggs. And again, that's New York City. That's not what it is everywhere. But across the country, consumers are not necessarily seeing the price of eggs reflecting this average price. The average price is around $5. Consumers are seeing $7, $8, $9, $10, even $12 for just a carton of eggs. That's something we haven't seen in over a decade, and it's likely to get worse. The USDA at this point is predicting that it could go up as much as 70% by the end of the year from this already high point.
All right, Peter Harlambous, ABC News. Peter, thanks so much for your time.
Thanks so much, Mark. Take care.
That's the organ playing at the Mass at the Gemelli Hospital in Rome. Medical staff, dozens of faithful gathered today in the chapel of Rome's Gemelli Hospital to attend a Mass held for Pope Francis, hospitalized there for double pneumonia. The Vatican said the 88-year-old Pope once again slept well during the night and was resting Thursday morning. Deborah Green, our exclusive Catholic correspondent, I would imagine that has the Pope's health has taken over your text messages chains with your fellow worshipers. Any update on the reaction from the Catholic community?
I mean, there's a lot of candles being lit, a lot of prayers every day. You kind of look for an update on what's happening, hoping that he gets better, and what's going to happen if he doesn't. Like, who will our next pope be?
Yeah, we'll monitor that again. The Pope, he only has 1.5 lungs. I don't know if that's the proper terminology. We have a pair of lungs, right? Yeah. We have 2 of them, but he had an operation when he was a child, so he just has 1.5, and he's been dealing with double pneumonia in both lungs. So obviously a situation worth monitoring. Hey, congrats to Tim in Locust Grove. He won a pair of tickets to the Outlaw Fest to see Willie Nelson and Bob Dylan. This just popping, Chief Justice Roberts hits pause on an order to unfreeze the USAID payments. That just popped. Let me do some investigating. We'll come back, take a quick break. I'll update more on the passing of Gene Hackman and what Kevin Costner had to say to me a couple years back and what it was like working with the legend Gene Hackman, who, if you're just joining us, passed away at the age of 95. Social media is active at Mark Arum and at WSB Radio.
When traffic hits.
Raining pretty heavy. Crash still on the right lane, 85 northbound Hamilton Mill.
The Triple Team Traffic Center has you covered.
Pausing for a long, slow ride to I-20.
Your source for Atlanta's traffic.
Not often we can say this, but 285 is looking great.
Brought to you by the Cool Ray Lifetime Parts and Labor Warranty.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Spring cleaning will be here before you know it, so now's the time to call Zero Res Carpet and Air Duct Cleaning. Take advantage of their pre-spring sale and get 3 rooms of carpet cleaned for $129. And when you mention me, Chris Chandler, you'll get a staircase clean for free. That's right, 3 rooms of carpet cleaned and a staircase for only $129. Just tell them Chris Chandler sent you. Schedule online at ZeroResAtlanta.com. Zero Res, it's the right way to clean.
Cancer upends your life. We're doing all we can to change that. At Winship Cancer Institute of Emory University, we're reimagining the care experience to ease the burden of cancer. With experts in your cancer and the research, trials, and treatments you can only get here. All so you can focus on what matters most, the best chance of living a full life. Winship Cancer Institute of Emory University. Cancer care designed around you and your life. EmoryHealthcare.org/Winship.
Hey, this is Rocco at Rocco's European Garage, and we invite you to come see us at our 6th location, now open off of Main Street, halfway between downtown Alpharetta and Milton. At Rocco's European Garage, we take pride in offering full service and repair on any European vehicle. You'll always get effective communication, upfront all-in pricing, and you approve the work prior to us beginning. Plus a 3-day appointment window to get you back on the road quicker, always at a better value than the dealership. Now open in Alpharetta or find a location near you at roccoseuropeangarage.com.
At Ameris Bank, we're invested in the success of your business. Our local bankers are ready to help you improve your cash flow, optimize your operating accounts, and access financing when you need it. From treasury services and digital banking to loans and lines of credit, we offer tailored solutions to help your business thrive. At Ameris Bank, we're with you. Visit amerisbank.com/withyourbusiness or walk into one of our branches today to get started. Ameris Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender. All loans subject to credit approval.
Mom and Dad seem different after a European-style holiday on MSC Cruises.
Call us Cloud and Yvette.
The ship had restaurants, shops, and nightlife.
La Galleria.
And of course, American touches, like an aqua park and a sweets shop.
American je ne sais quoi.
Mom, you're from Wisconsin.
Wisconsin, Kevin.
Book now and save up to 35% off, plus kids sail free. MSC Cruises. Let's holiday. To book, visit msccruises.com or contact your travel advisor. Restrictions apply. Ships registered in Panama and Malta.
Sell your home with a guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate and receive the strongest cash offer in the industry. You'll save time and make the most money. Hi, it's Chris Chandler. With the guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate, you can skip the hassle of getting your home ready to sell, receive an all-cash offer, and close in as little as 21 days. You can trust my friends at Mark Spain Real Estate to sell your home fast and for maximum profit. Go to markspain.com to get a guaranteed offer on your home today and start packing.
There she is, founder and CEO. High five.
Dave can't stop celebrating with every business owner in town.
All right, Baker Man. High five.
He's sharing the excitement of big savings with the Comcast Business 5-year price lock guarantee.
Up top, Bike Shop.
Yeah. It's 5 years of gig speed internet.
Quick, high five.
5 years of advanced security.
5 years.
And 5 years of a great rate that won't change.
Yeah, law partners. Chamberlain, Messethorpe, Dubois.
All from the company with 99.9% network reliability. Switch today and get the 5-year price lock guarantee.
5 years.
It's back, but only for a limited time.
Woo!
Powering 5 years of savings, powering possibilities. Comcast Business.
Can't forget you, voiceover guy.
Ah, thanks, Dave.
High five.
Ends 3/9/25. Guaranteed rate applies to monthly service charge for new customers on qualifying internet bundle, excluding taxes and fees. Other restrictions apply.
Seems everything costs more these days. Gas, groceries, and when's the last time you checked your wireless bill? Yikes. When it comes to big wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Switch to Consumer Cellular and get the same fast, reliable nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill. Plans start at just $20 a month, and that's not a short-term promo. But don't just take our word for it. Here's Jackie and Veronica, real customers.
I didn't know that I could get something for a lot less money that was actually better than who I was with before.
Anytime anybody complains about their cell phone bill, we say, you've got to check out Consumer Cellular.
Our US-based experts will get you switched and saving in about 20 minutes. Just call or click to see how much you can save today. Because when it comes to big wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com. That's 1-888-FREEDOM or consumercellular.com today. Real people paid to share their opinions in this ad. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing.
11:49 in the Mark Arum Show, looking at massive delays in and out of Marietta. Live with the latest, Alex Williams.
Yeah, still got this traffic red alert. It continues. All lanes are shut down with this nasty crash. 75 southbound Delk Road, exit 261. No traffic getting by. You're jammed up from 575. Some of your alternates, Highway 41, Cobb Parkway, Powers Ferry Road if you're in the Marietta area, or the express lanes with a Peach Pass. You can still use those as they're pointed southbound. They're trying to get this off to the right, but again, all lanes are still shut down, so try to avoid that. It's called 75 northbound onlooker delays, leaving I-285, which in turn has got 285 westbound, the outer loop slow coming out of Sandy Springs as you head over to I-75. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
All right, gentlemen. He's got one barrel left. When he fires that, take out your pistols and shoot him down like the mangy scoundrel he is. Misfire.
Goosebumps right there. Academy Award performance by Gene Hackman in maybe the greatest movie of all time, The Unforgiven, as we continue to cover the passing of the legend. If you have the WSB radio app, like I do, you just got a push alert from Sweet Ann on the digital desk, an update on the Hackman investigation into his death. The gas company now involved in the investigation. Authorities still say no foul play suspected, but Hackman, his wife, and their dog all found dead in their home. My initial reaction was carbon monoxide. The gas company now involved in the investigation. We will continue to monitor that sad, sad story obviously just horrible. Gene Hackman, I said it many times on the show, I think the greatest American actor of all time. Pretty good actor in his own right is one Mr. Kevin Costner. I've interviewed him a bunch, but this one is from, I think Deborah said 2017. And I asked Kevin Costner about working with Gene Hackman in No Way Out. Speaking of great actors, so the other night I was at home and No Way Out came on, and I have to watch that movie every time it's on. It's one of my favorites. Gene Hackman in that movie. I mean, I absolutely adore Gene Hackman. I mean, that was fairly early in your career. What was it like working with Gene Hackman in that movie?
Well, I get asked a lot about things, to make a list or whatever. Who's your favorite actor? Who's the best actor? Who's the whatever? And that's hard because, when you work with so many people, if you start with somebody and you leave somebody out. But I have said to people, listen, the biggest star I ever worked with was Sean Connery. And I think the best actor I ever worked with, I said, was Gene Hackman. And I've said that for a long time. And he was just that good. He was so immediate. He was so available. And we had some good talks about a few things. And I miss him.
Yeah, that's high praise coming from you. I love everything he's ever done, and he's so versatile. Again, you were pretty young when No Way Out was made. Did you take anything from that experience with working with Hackman?
Yeah, I had one truly amazing experience. The show's not long enough for it, so I'm not trying to tease you. If I could be considered in that, in that sentence with him, that would always make me feel great. But that's how I feel about him.
Kevin Costner on what it was like working with Gene Hackman in No Way Out. Again, every role, he was so believable. As the ornery sheriff in Unforgiven, as the sleazy Hollywood producer Harry Zim in Get Shorty, as the guy that was in charge of the submarine, the basketball. I mean, he just crushed every role. And didn't get his first break till 37 years old. Rest in peace, Gene Hackman. 95 years old. Retired, by the way, back in 2014. Again, if we get any updates into the death investigation of Hackman, his wife, and their dog, geez, God, can you imagine? We will bring it to you here on 95.5 WSB. Deborah, I thought about this the other day. I remember that 3-month string when I was just sick every day.
Absolutely.
When I don't know what I was fighting, whether it was the bird flu, the swine flu, or Ebola, whatever. But I would always make me take my temperature. And my temperature, when I was a kid, it was 98.6, right? That's the human temperature, the ideal temperature. But my temperature was always below that, even when I was sick, like 98.1, 97.9. And I just thought, I'm just cold-blooded. Apparently, doctors and scientists now saying 98.6 isn't really the average human temperature anymore.
Yeah, not anymore. So this was put into standards like hundreds of years ago when society was a little bit different. People didn't have the longevity that they're having. And so now they're saying that a more common body temperature, more average among people, is 97.9. Because I was the same way you are. Every time I go to the doctor and they take my temperature, it's like 98.2. And I would joke, I'm like, oh, I'm dead. And they're like, oh, no, it's normal. So you have to kind of gauge everybody a little bit differently. Some people will have a fever at 99. Some people don't have a fever until they're 100. So it all depends on your actual normal body temperature.
I feel bad for our neighbors down the hall at B98.5. Had they saw this gradual slip, they could have used that. Oh, the average temperature is 98.5. I guess if it keeps dropping, 97.1 The River can jump on board that. It's weird. I wonder if
we'll jump on that, yeah.
Yeah, I just wonder if thermometers are more accurate now than they were 100 years ago. Right? Maybe that's it.
Well, the digital ones versus the mercury ones.
Yeah, and depending on, I don't want to bring this up so close to lunch, but I don't know where, there were 2 places your mom could put the thermometer as a kid. Is that still a thing, the other place? Is that still?
You got your mouth and your armpit, right?
Oh, your armpit. Yeah, that's the one. That's the ticket. Yeah, all right. So 98.6, no longer, which makes me feel better because I couldn't get to 98.6 degrees when I was sick for those 3 months. I just thought I was cold-blooded and free and cold. I'll stop singing.
Longoria's fact of the day.
All right. Today is National Chili Day. So you can put chili on a hot dog.
Yes, maybe
That's
I'll
my
go to the
favorite.
Varsity.
The Varsity,
right.
yeah, your favorite.
Yeah.
You put it on top of a burger. People do baked potatoes, and they add croutons to the chili. I am not doing that. But National Chili Day. Go get you a hot dog.
How about chili on top of your hash browns at Waffle House? Get those Waffle House hash browns all the way. Birch chili, and that way you don't have to pay the egg surcharge.
That's a good one.
I was trying to be healthy, Vin, but now I'm craving a chili cheese dog
There you
from
go.
Varsity. That was a hell of a fact of the day, my friend. Hell of a fact of the day. Good job. All right, let's do stars of the show before we get out of here. Eric Erickson, by the way, coming up in just a couple of minutes.
Are you guys ready for the Mark Aram Star of the Show?
Vinny, star of the show. Good job. You ran a flawless board today, my friend. Unlike yesterday, but that wasn't really your fault. Poor young Yoki, he had to pull 47 movie cuts of Gene Hackman for me, so he gets a star of the show. Deborah, superstar as always, you get a star of the show. CBS News travel expert Peter Greenberg joins us live from Monaco. Breaking down the recent rash of airline mishaps. Peter gets a star of the show. Robert Berger joined us live in Jerusalem, updating the end of the first round of the ceasefire deal between Israel and Hamas. Peter Haralambous from ABC News joined us to talk about President Trump's plan for the eggs. Mike Leathers from Covington got in contact with Deborah as we were talking about the passing of Gene Hackman. He shared a personal story he had with Gene Hackman in a race car from back in 1986. If you missed that, make sure you check out the podcast after the show. Really great firsthand account on how amazing Gene Hackman was as a person, and apparently a really good race car driver as well. So Mike Leathers gets a star of the show. And one birthday of note, my birthday lists were down today. But I know Braves legend, my buddy Pete Smith's birthday is today, so we'll give Petey a star of the show as well. Am I forgetting anyone? Oh, Christina Edwards on the Piccadilly text line. Oh, and my mom texted me, Deborah. I totally forgot about this. My mom met Gene Hackman in Phoenix, Arizona. I didn't even know my mom has ever been to Phoenix at the grand opening of the Georgia O'Keeffe Museum. So, Ma Dukes, you get a star of the show as well. All right, big news day in Washington today and tomorrow. We'll cover it all for you tomorrow morning starting at 9 a.m. Social medias are active 24/7, though, friends. At Mark Arum, MarkArum. Stay safe. Have a great, beautiful Thursday, Atlanta.